So the two of you go up to Carney's.
Hey, you want to go on a boat trip?
I know that you were thinking about being an adventurer for a while, and I don't know about the guys that you were with before.
As you're saying that, and he's looking at you intently and hearing your words and sinking in, Selwyn just kind of takes the pole and pushes the boat off the bank. As you near your destination, you start seeing shapes that do look like structures. You see a relatively large structure coming out of the water, which looks like some sort of temple, like an entrance. Like it looks like a building.
I phase in slowly a lizard man next to me, just a standard one. I'm not trying to copy anybody or the dead guy, definitely not. And then I turn and I shake the phantom lizardman's hand, and I say, "Friends." And if it's been here for like 100-something years, it is not unreasonable to consider that lizardmen who live in the swamp would be like, "Hey, look, this looks like a pretty sweet place to worship lizard gods."
Fair enough. You said that it was all dragon iconography all over the temple?
If only we had some sort of brilliant but incompetent human.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Welcome back to the Amorous Armadillo. We are playing some more Dungeons and Dragons. Specifically, you're about to enter a dragon dungeon. So the three of you are standing on this platform, this sunken temple or sunken structure, the center point of the structure. As I mentioned before, you have at least 4 other, perhaps towers of different levels of being submerged in this mire.
Right.
And on one far end, you would assume, based on the angle, that it's roughly in a northwesterly direction. There is a pointed spire as well. The raised platform that comes up from the steps that emerge from the marsh water is about 60 feet in one direction and 40 feet back towards the steps. And then staring at the opening to this tomb is about 30 feet wide at its widest point. You would guess about 20 feet high. It's kind of as an archway, a decorated archway. Selwyn, Bedouin, you're certain that what you're looking for is in this temple. You know that these lizard folk had retreated into this temple. They didn't seem to be particularly happy with you, even though you did try to make overtures. But you know without a doubt that what you're searching for is here, and you need to get it. It's in your best interest to do so. Corsic.
Yes?
You are extremely certain that something just tried to manipulate your mind. You felt this. You felt it the whole time since you passed through what was some sort of barrier, some sort of film in the air,
right?
Possibly tied to those runes you saw smirved on those pedestals. But after the initial conflict with the spiders had kind of subsided, you felt something kind of grasp at you mentally. And what you specifically felt, what it felt like to you, if you would want to put it into words or articulate it some way, it's as if 1,000 tormented souls that sound like a cat mewing were trying to convince you to embrace slavery. Like, that's what it felt like. It's like, we are miserable. Join us. This is the path you should take.
That doesn't sound pleasant at all.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like. And you ignored them. You rebuffed it, but that did feel like it. Other than that, everything's fine.
Yeah, this place is giving me the heebie-jeebies.
Me too. Let's go in.
Yeah, let's get this over with.
Okay, so you choose to. Are you just gonna head down?
So all the lizard men had retreated down into
The 4 that you saw that were fighting the spiders. Yeah.
Then yeah, we just need to go in. I don't want to be here any longer than we need to be.
You want me to go in first and check things out?
If you can be quick about it.
Cool. All right, I'm gonna go scout ahead.
Okay.
So
Are you going to attempt to be stealthy while scouting?
I am going to attempt to be stealthy.
All right. Would you like me to roll for you so you don't know?
Please.
Does that appeal to you? What's your stealth bonus?
My stealth bonus is
Sneakity sneak. Sneaking a sneak.
+7, and I believe I have advantage on that.
On sneaking? For what reason?
That's yours. I was wondering why I had that. You
Oh no, it's just double the bonus, which is probably why it's so high.
Why it's so high? Yeah, you have. That's one of your. I forgot the name of the thing. Expertise. Okay. So you're going to attempt to sneak down, and the rest of you, what are the other two of you going to be doing? All these snacking.
Standing at the top of the steps, I'll keep an eye out. Are there any runes written anywhere?
You can, with nothing that you see offhand, just at a glance. If you want to give me a perception check to see if you pick up any fine details.
Sure, I'll do that.
Sure.
It's going to be a 16 plus 4, so 20.
Okay. You don't see any. Are you specifically? Well, you don't see any runes that match what you saw on those pedestals earlier.
Okay.
Specifically, you do not see that. There's almost no writing on. Actually, not almost no writing. That's untrue. There is no writing
In this
of any
yeah.
side. There's an artistic interpretations of dragons and dragon parts.
Okay. Yeah. I was just curious if there was anything that would indicate a name for this place or what it would be associated with. But I'm picking up the dragon vibe. So
It's dragon vibe. That's all that you really.
Dragon parts.
Yes, like wings,
Like a
and
thigh?
claws. Yes, yeah, like this is somewhat representative of unfurled dragon wings. Like the opening to the temple itself
Okay.
looks like unfurled dragon wings, but not a realistic depiction, an artistic depiction of them, and a glorified depiction. You would, in your summation, probably glorified from a religious standpoint.
Right.
That would be your guess. Anything that Bedouin is doing?
So he's sneaking down the
Yes.
hall.
So someone's going by himself.
It's usually not a great plan.
I'm not in charge of your plans, so
And he's investigating the top. He's being all smart.
Yeah.
So when given the choice, I'm going to also sneak with Selwyn.
you're gonna sneak with him, or are you gonna give him some space?
I'm giving him some space and sneaking around behind him
How much space do you give him in feet?
in feet.
Mhm.
I mean, I can also teleport, but
That's great. Kudos.
so I can't see like it's like a bit of a curvy hallway. This like it's around a corner and stuff like that.
From what you're seeing, it does seem to curve, but it is a slow curve. Like you can see pretty far down, probably about
120 feet,
almost before you start seeing the curve.
and everything looks cool.
Yeah, you notice that it's not, from what you can see, it's not a stairway that leads down. It's almost like a ramp.
Yeah, I'll give him about 20 feet, and I'll kind of sneak around behind him. I'm also pretty sneaky, so I'm kind
Alright.
of sneaky.
Well, I'm gonna roll since we're doing that.
Okay.
What's your sneak bonus?
A 4.
So you're gonna give him about 20 feet and then sneak behind him. Do you inform Corsic that you're doing this, or are you just
Well,
gonna
he's a
vanish
rogue.
while
He's a rogue. I presume he has superior perception. I presume.
or are you gonna inform Corsic
Oh,
that you're doing
Corsic?
this?
No, probably not.
Okay. So,
He can probably see me.
sweet.
Hey, what's going?
Yeah, that's pretty much what happens. So you're investigating it. You're looking for runes. You're
yeah.
surmising this, and then they're both gone.
Give Selwyn a good luck on his scouting. Turn around to look for some notes and turn back and Bedouin's gone.
Bedouin didn't need your luck. He didn't need it.
I wasn't talking to Bedouin. That's why.
Oh, there you go.
But considering that you are a half elf, you're actually able to. Although they are both, you could see them both descending in this. They're not running, so you
Right.
can actually see them because the ramp descends. It's just a gradual pace before it curves. You can see them for a bit, so you know where they're going because your dark vision,
Okay.
as it were. But they're not making a lot of noise, so you
Right.
feel pretty confident that they are being fairly sneaky.
Okay. If they're both going, I don't want to be up here alone because I know there's a ton of spiders out around the temple. I will follow, but I'm going to give them about as much distance as I can while still keeping an eye on them. So you said it.
So you're heavy armor bro, aren't you?
Not heavy,
Oh, okay.
but medium. I do have disadvantage on stealth checks.
So I was
But
ask,
I'm
is
gonna
it
be,
chance-
but I'm gonna be
confusing.
staying back. You said I could see them from about 120 feet out, or however
well,
far it is.
do you have dark
you're-
vision 120
you're-
feet?
You're baked 60.
I do have dark vision.
60 feet, I believe. Is it 60 feet dark vision?
If it's not, it would be 60
There's
because
no
that's the
light.
standard.
Yeah, there's no discernible light sources down here.
Why aren't you a darkness sorcerer? You can see super far in the dark. I can see through magic dark.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll stay about 60 feet behind Bedouin.
Okay. You're fairly certain you're not being particularly stealthy, but you're having a hard time. It's the angle of the ramp. You're basically trying to keep yourself from sliding, and it's a murder on your cats.
How steep is this ramp?
It's not that steep. You're just having a hard time.
I'm just having a
I'm
hard
trying to
time
give
of
you-
it. It's all wet. It's a little damp.
It is a bit gross. It is a bit slick. You don't feel you're in danger of falling, but it is trying to just keep your balance and keep your distance and being aware of everything, and you're having a bit of a time. So you know that you're making some noise. As best as you can try to be stealthy, you know that you're making a little bit of noise.
Yeah, I'm hoping I'm far enough away to where that'll help, but
You're pretty far away,
yeah.
at least from.
I wasn't expecting to be super quiet.
At least from someone. Okay. Someone, I would like you to give me a perception check.
That's not a great roll. 13.
Okay. You hear as you're descending, getting louder and louder, hisses and grunts and growls and shouts. Maybe definitely sounds like those lizard folk sounded when you were closer to them. It's pretty consistent. It does sound like an argument to you of some kind. You just can't make out what it is that they're arguing about. Or the context, because there's patterns of vocalization are pretty alien.
How far away does it sound?
Pretty far. As you're getting, you feel that you are descending at a fairly slow pace. So you would guess about more than probably a couple hundred feet. As you feel that as you notice as you're descending, it's descending in kind of a slow spiral. And you probably would have gone down. As you're going down and as it's getting louder and louder, do we feel that it's within a relatively close distance? You feel that you've probably descended over 100 feet from the spiral. You're also noticing on the ground, and it's fairly obvious. You would notice it too. Give me a perception check real quick, just see how dumb you are, or how
16.
16. Yeah, you both of you. Notice as you're kind of sneaking down here that there is old, ancient scuff marks, almost like scratches along the ground. Like it's been kind of it's not been roughed. Like nothing's gouged anything, and it's noticeable. You probably don't want to test it because they're trying to be stealthy. But it doesn't look like this substance gouges very easily at all. But it looks like things have gouged against it, as if like if something was scraped against it and like bits of that over time were scraped off, leaving these marks.
It's like ruts.
Like ruts, but not gouged in. Like there's the surface isn't really damaged. It's just discolored, as if residuals of something else have been left
Oh, like
behind.
something else was rubbing me.
Something else was rubbing against it, and that gave. You would give me a nature roll, either one of you, if you wish. And you can you'll be able to notice this too. It's not gonna be relevant. So you can just if you roll if you wish.
All right.
17.
10.
19.
You would guess if you were to make a guess. It's been a while since anything actually created this. Claw marks. Claw marks from large things. You would guess.
Who's moving furniture through here?
Got to redecorate.
Do I realize that these two chuckleheads couldn't wait?
What was your perception roll?
It was an 8 plus 5, so 13, wasn't it?
No, you're not aware necessarily.
No, 15.
You're not aware. You can, of course, if you want to assume, you can always look behind you and see if you notice someone.
Are you in a habit of when I say like I'm gonna go ahead following me?
I mean, if I want to.
Is this an actual character conversation?
No,
because he's like what?
this isn't
20
a
feet away from
conversation. He's asking my character's character.
Okay,
I presume.
just checking.
Yeah. Hey, do you follow me often? Is he hitting on me?
We'll talk about what like my assumptions about how you'll act later, but
I mean, if I feel like it, if I feel like there's nothing else I wanted to do before, and if it's where I think I can be best useful, then yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I'm gonna keep going down.
Okay. Roughly when you get that sense of depth that I mentioned before, you're also noticing in the distance like a flickering light. And it's and the voices of course get a lot louder and more violent. And then it starts sounding, the light flickering is getting more rapid. It's not like a flickering torch. It's as if like something's generating light and it's being blocked by shadows that you're not really able to make out. And you would guess you're easily within 100 feet of wherever these things are. Probably right around that corner, you can sort of make out the light source. Clearly something's fighting something. Something's violent. You hear what is clearly a struggle. What would you like to do with that information?
I'm going to sneak back and try to stop these two.
Okay. So as you sneak back, you become aware
Yep.
that Bedouin is sneaking behind you rather successfully. And then much further back, as you get up to where Bedouin is, you can see Corsic attempting to come down after you as well. But
All right. So I'm gonna tap you on the shoulder and then head back up towards to meet Corsic.
Okay.
All right.
Did I witness the things that he witnessed?
With not as accuracy, you know there's something going on down there.
Cool.
I'm assuming you come all the way back.
Yeah, and I actually pull you back a little bit further.
Okay.
So in a quiet voice, hey, there's something going on back there. There's a fight going on. It's definitely, the lizard men are definitely involved in it.
You think it's infighting?
I didn't get that, did I? It didn't sound like it. It sounded like they were fighting something else. I don't know.
You're not sure. You didn't hear anything that didn't sound like lizardmen, though.
Yeah.
So you could surmise that it might be infighting.
So
Maybe it's the greenskins versus, or the green scales versus the black scales.
I don't know, but also something big has scratched these floors, or maybe it's more proper to say these floors scratched something big.
How big is this hall? Like, as far as like
Width
how wide?
wise,
Yeah.
it is. If I'm correct, yeah, it's 30 feet, and still it maintains almost 20 feet in height.
So it could be something really big. Well, we've been picking up on a lot of dragon imagery.
Do you think it could be a Dargan?
I hope it's not. But there's a lot that could be said to indicate such.
So what do we do?
So wait here and let me get a better lay of the land.
And just to be clear, you do whatever you do, you push forward, and be as stealthy as you want, but you definitely need to push forward.
Okay.
So
Why do we need to push forward?
it's the right. It's what you feel
we
you
want
need to do.
so-
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You definitely. This is definitely where you want to go.
We have a job to do.
Yeah. There's something here that you need to get.
Okay.
So you're gonna sneak forward a bit, lay the land. As you move forward, your stealth was. We'll keep your stealth unless you would like me to. You're good. You sneak forward a bit more, and you notice a change. You don't hear the shouts as much. There's a lower speech happening, so it sounds like whatever conflict happened has ended. But you do still make out voices that seem to be the lizard folk. They're just talking in more hushed tones.
Okay. I am going to try to enter this room if it's feasible to do so. So I'm gonna peek around the entryway.
Well, it's pretty clear fairly quickly to you is the way that this curves. There isn't really a corner blind spot where you can get very close. By the time it kind of turns and opens up to where they are, it's a pretty straight shot of about 70 or so feet before you see like an opened room that's illuminated by some sort of light that doesn't appear to be flame. It's a nice, like a cool light. You would assume magical.
So like even if I get prone and really close to the ground, like there's do I feel like there's a way for me to like hide in?
Well, you're a dwarf and you can still be sneaky. You just don't have an obvious. There's no way to move up to a corner and peek. Like you're gonna be like hugging a wall or trying to crawl.
Yeah.
Like, but you'll be visual. There'll be no cover if you are spotted.
Okay. So that is what I'm going to do.
Okay. So this will be. We're gonna call this a different stealth check entirely. Since situations have changed. Your bonus is what again?
+7. If it's poor, I'd like to use my inspiration.
It's not how inspiration works.
Fake
You don't have any.
And Corsic and Bedouin are too far away to hear any of these growls. And
It's if you stayed behind.
I
like
have stayed.
someone asked you. Yeah,
I have
then
stayed where I was supposed
They've
to be.
stopped shouting at each other loudly. So yeah, it would be too far away for you to be able to make out any of the words that you would be able to comprehend using your helm of comprehending.
I don't really want him to get out of my eyesight. How far away does he get before he's out of my eyesight?
What is your dark vision?
120.
I mean, you were fairly close. So he was about 100 feet or so away before the curve. And so you don't have to progress much further to kind of see him. But once he turns that curve, you're kind of exposed too, though at 120 feet away, it'll be much harder to see. So you can certainly do that if you wish. Okay. And is Corsic going to stay behind, or you're going to try to move with Bedouin?
I would protest you proceeding forward. We need to wait here
Why?
because we don't want to be giving away someone's location.
I will not give away Selwyn's location. You are Colonel Tink Tink.
That may be, but we agreed on staying here.
Well, look, if something terrible happens and he's unable to come back and retrieve us before he is in danger, it'd be good to have somebody who can see what's going on. That's all I'm doing. And if something happens, then I can hark and you can come tink tankling all your way up here.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Just be careful.
Always.
So what was your intent?
Right.
How close were you intending to get?
As close as I can.
Okay. So I'll just kind of explain. You get a little bit of head start regardless of what Bedouin's doing because he was delayed slightly. So as you sneak forward, you can make out as you get within every 10 feet, you get a little bit more better picture of the scene. The slope kind of evens out to an even flat grade. You can sense that pretty readily. Then there's another archway that leads into another room. And this room is illuminated, and you can see it's illuminated by some sort of radiant illumination coming up from a raised platform of some kind. You can't see the source, but it seems to be radiating from that. And you can clearly make out 3 lizard folk figures huddled next to each other, kind of discussing things. Their weapons are shaking as you move closer and closer. They don't seem to take notice of you. They seem to be engaged in conversation. They all are like kind of occasionally like glancing back in a direction and pointing like roughly up that path. But you only see 3. How close do you want to get, really? Like, where are you going to hesitate and see? Are you going to get like up on them? Like, eventually you're going to come. It's an open room. Do you want to get into the room? Do you want to get in backstab position? Do you want to show up and then wave to them? Or are you going to try to sneak by them? Like, where are you?
I want to try to get a good lay of the room and how many people there are in there.
Okay, so close enough to get what would be a decent tactical overview, as much of the room you can get where you feel safe. I think that's fair. Okay, so you get relatively close, like you inch an inch, and then ultimately with him taking his time, you're able to sort of get a sense of him, and you can sort of see illumination and some sense of what's going on. The room you enter into, or the room that they are in, is very large. In fact, you would say in its full width, in the full diameter, is that correct? 90 feet. Is diameter correct? Diameter the whole way?
Yes.
Yes.
Radius is halfway.
Yay, school. Yay, school. I've never needed it except for in D&D. That's the only time.
And when ordering pizza.
I guess. But that's you just kind of. I don't really ever measure it. It's all small, medium, and large. I've never been screwed over by a crazy. Oh, we meant the radius.
Well, it gets confusing when they have a large and an extra large.
All right, that's a good point. This lifted? No, I was being nice. The raised pedestal they're standing next to is about 30 feet. You're assuming based on the dimensions that it's a circular room. You see, you can't really make out the pedestal is fairly high up. It's at least it's probably close to 10 feet tall, but maybe like between 6 and 7. You're not really sure of the specific height. That light is coming from that, but you obviously don't have the height to see what that is. There are two alcoves, maybe 5 feet deep, that have two large circular passageways. The one to your left, let's call that the west. It's basically the west. That one appears to be open. Near that passageway, you can make out there's a corpse of a lizard folk laying there. Give me a perception check.
Natural 20.
Ooh,
So,
okay.
25.
Okay. Okie dokie. Yeah, you notice that there's a corpse laying there. You notice that there appears to be another door on the east. That door is closed. You would assume it's a door or passageway of some kind. There is writing on it that you can't make out. You feel like a very slight chill in the air. That just seems to be stronger now. It was definitely warm out. You actually feel some chill, and you notice the base of this room that they're standing in. It seems to have some sort of like ventilation or small like slits in the ground. You also get a very slight tinge. You rolled a natural 20?
I did.
You get a slight tinge of a slight acidic smell. Very, very minor, but it's definitely wafting up.
Okay. The corpse fresh or not fresh?
The corpse is fresh. Is a dead. You would make the assumption that it is the fourth lizard man, most likely.
Okay. Is it? When I look back, can I see this chucklehead who can't stay put?
I know I'm pretty stealthy.
He's pretty stealthy, but I'm gonna say for the sake of brevity, you have a pretty good sense of where each other are.
Okay.
Yeah, he's waving.
Is it?
It does help. Other people can see that too.
Is it more difficult to go back or to push forward? What's more dangerous? Like from where I'm at,
To push back to where?
to push back to where he is. Is that pushing me? Like, am I walking out in the open? Like when I snuck out past out to where I'm at. Did I like move across an open hallway? Or it's like shit.
No.
I don't want to go back there again.
Everything is open. So you're pretty much you're hugging the corner, you're hugging the wall and the floor. You're getting as low and as much to one wall as possible. I would assume you're hugging towards the curve, the inside of the curve, which is gone now. There's no curve. You're basically just leaned up against a wall, hunkered down, as much in the shadow as possible, staying as far away from the light. You're actually too far in the light right now. You're not feeling very safe.
Okay.
To get a sense of this room.
So either way is probably pretty dangerous. Going back is probably pretty dangerous, and going forward.
Going forward, based on whether or not you're being spotted, going forward was definitely more. You're more likely to be spotted going into the room, because they do seem to be, although they are engaged with each other, they're gripping their weapons. They're high strung. It looks like with no other evidence, it looks like they may have killed their fourth member.
So I'm going to try to get back to you.
Okay. Damn it. Okay. So yeah, you sneak back. You don't seem to notice any reaction.
And then again, tap you on the shoulder, and move back up the staircase to get further away from where we're at.
Okay.
Hey, that's some pretty freaky stuff going on over there. It looks like they're doing some sort of ritual. They killed one of the dudes, and there's something that leads outside. They're getting air through here somewhere. Also, there's some sort of crazy acid. And then you.
I'm back where I was told to be.
Okay. All right. So I tap you on the shoulder and sneak back to him.
And just to reiterate, like, it's totally worth going through that. Whatever concerns you have. It's worth
Okay.
it.
All right.
Unless you can come up with a better plan.
I think you might need this. Listen, I'm going to go on ahead and try to suss out what the situation is. When you hear a ruckus, come on in.
All right, yeah. I'll hold on to your potion of poison resistance. Yeah, if things get bad, just give a shout.
And you stay halfway back to relay what's going on if need be.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to try to sneak back to where I was before.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say you can sneak back to where you were before. They're still having the conversation. And you're really not going back that far. What's your intent from that point?
So my intent is to reach in my bag. Probably should have done this while I was in the staircase. Pull out something. What do I have in there? I have ball bearings.
Okay.
So I'm going to pull a handful of ball bearings out, and I'm going to try to chuck them to a part of the room that we are not coming from.
Okay. The intent to distract them or maybe make them go check out what that noise is?
Correct.
Okay. Give me a ranged attack. This is an improvised weapon.
It's a thrown
Effectively.
weapon too, isn't it?
It is a thrown weapon, but this is a dex. They're not heavy, so it's like a dart. So
It's like 50 darts.
it's 50 darts. How many of them are you throwing?
Handful 5 of them.
Okay. All right. So give me a straight roll. You do not get your proficiency bonus on this check, but you get your dex bonus.
16.
Okay. So yeah, you pretty much hit the angle. You make it. You have it like you kind of throw it enough so it bounces off of the raised midsection, then kind of ricochets back, so the majority of it kind of clatter on the ground, kind of behind that area, and roll around back there. You rolled a what?
16.
Oh shit. So they kind of look at each other and they get all paranoid, and they mention, and one of them slinks off behind there to check him out, and the rest of them kind of go on high alert, and he's kind of looking around. They're like, one of them's looking to where it first made impact, the other one's kind of looking up and specifically checking. I'm gonna go ahead and give you another stealth check. As you're kind of sitting there, kind of trying to put your ball bearings back, there's a slight clatter, a slight noise as you're doing so. The one that's looking up at you kind of pinpoints your general location, and he's just staring. He's like tasting the air, and he's looking where you are. You're fairly certain that if he doesn't spot you, he knows you're there, and because you kind of see him tense up, and you see him growl and bark, some lizard-like hisses that you would assume is an instruction or notification that you're descending.
Okay.
So you've been spotted, though they don't charge up at you. What are you gonna do? In fact, what are you gonna do?
I'm going to keep hiding.
You're just gonna stay still? Okay.
Sure.
All right. What is your okay? So you stay still for a few moments.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see what they do.
All right. How much time? Okay. Well, after a few seconds, the second one who was kind of looking around comes up and joins his compatriot. The one like kind of nudges him, points in your direction. He kind of looks as well, and you see like he gets a sense of you. He's kind of moving around. They're kind of blocking the doorway, and they're kind of hissing and growling at each other. And then after about a minute passes, they're growling back. The other one comes back, and you see him. He's got ball bearings in his hand, and then they're like pointing up at them. He looks back at there, and he makes some noise. He looks up at you, and he makes some noise. He takes the ball bearings and he puts it in like a pouch, ties it up. And they're all three of them are now looking up at you, and they're sort of hissing and growling there's a constant conversation
Okay.
now happening between the two
All right.
of them.
So I step out away from my hiding spot,
Okay.
give a wave. I look back I give you the signal. I don't know what the signal is.
Okay.
I think the signal is me stepping out and giving a wave.
Yeah.
To the lizard man.
No, actually, the signal was that one lizard looking and being like, "There's a
Yeah.
fucking dude over there." So these lizards, do they have question marks or exclamation points over their head?
Neither. That doesn't happen in D&D. Oh, I knew what you're saying. Are they alerted?
Yeah.
They seem to be aware. Well, now that someone stepped out and waved at them, they 100%. There's no question in your mind now that they see the dwarf standing in the middle of this 30-foot passageway, dimly lit by whatever is causing the light to light up the room that they're in.
How far away from me are they?
You were staying how far away from someone?
Eyesight.
At the furthest distance you can be?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So they're like 140 feet.
So I don't see them at all.
No, you wouldn't. I guess. Well, no, you can see them because your dark vision only lasts for so long. But it's illumination,
It's
so
lit up there.
it's matching up,
They're 140 feet out.
overlapping.
And these are the green scales.
They appear to be the same lizardmen in their coloration as the ones that were up top.
And they're acting hostilely, are they?
They're definitely not welcoming you.
Yeah.
No,
But they're not charging him.
not yet.
So I'll stealth move up, but I'd like to. So based on the lighting and other factors in this scene, is it? You said the hallway was like 30 feet wide.
Mm-hmm.
Is it conceivable that I could get to the other side of the hallway from where Selwyn is, so as to perhaps in a time of need do a half a flank if I need to? But to do so surreptitiously and to not be tasted by lizardmen?
Like to sneak,
Yes,
to try to snack a little bit.
a little bit.
All right. Well, you can try to sneak up.
I just don't want to be right behind him.
Your bonus is what?
4.
Okay. What's your passive perception? I wrote down somewhere, but I don't recall it. So what's your
10.
passive perception? Okay. Yeah. Yeah,
Super.
you're being pretty sneaky. You're sneaking up. The two of you, Corsic, you're staying where you're supposed to be, right? You're just waiting for shouts.
Yep.
These three lizard folk kind of growl at each other. Two of them growl more so than one, and they kind of make an affirmative motion that you're estimating, and then two of them move forward towards you at a rapid pace. And the third one, the only thing you notice that's odd, the third one kind of starts to move forward and like takes a couple steps and then stops and then looks back and looks towards the open doorway. And I need you, I guess, just the two of you roll initiative. I guess you can roll initiative 2, but you're basically
Not
not
active.
gonna do anything right now.
How fitting.
Do I have advantage?
No.
I should
Why would
have
you have advantage?
Because I rolled a 3. I would like an advantage.
You can spend that inspiration.
Can I have an advantage? Pretty, please.
What you got?
14.
All right.
6.
And what will Corsic be on when I let him act?
A mighty 2.
All right. Seems about right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, Bedouin. You notice this too, that these two of them are charging forward, and they seem their intent seems to be hostile, or they're really trying to get a lot of momentum for their hugs. It's one of those two things.
How far away from me are they?
Well, you've moved up to be basically in flanking distance. So at this point, they are you're a little bit behind still. So about 30 feet away from you, 20 feet away from Selwyn.
And
they're moving.
I
They'll be able to close either distance on their turn.
But are they coming? Are they both going towards Selwyn, or is either one coming towards me?
The other one looks like he's coming towards you.
All right. Well, this is tough.
Or trying to flank Selwyn. You can't really tell.
All right. Cool. So I'm going to cast Ray of Frost and target the one coming towards me.
Sure. Sure. For sure.
Oh wait, no, you're not very tough, are you? I'm going to target the one going towards Selwyn.
Okay.
That's not very good. 2, 6, so 13.
13. So you see your ray of frost comes dead on. It's dead on to this lizard folk. You see him raise this bone and wooden wicker shield and up and just kind of catches it, and frost sort of breaks a few of the strands off, and he kind of tosses the cold remnants to the side as he continues forward.
Damn.
And they both close with their prey.
I tried, bro.
You did real good. So the closest is Selwyn, so we'll do this attack first. First things first, he comes in with a swing of this club. What is your AC? I hit
14.
I just did the math in my head. All right. He swings your club and you take, well, let's go ahead and roll. I don't like these established damages. Take 6 points of bludgeoning damage, and then it takes a bite at you. It kind of leans in with its mouth and snaps wildly. You kind of dodge under it. The other friend of yours comes in for a hug and just gives you a big warm hug and says, I like you best.
It's good.
I learned English.
It's the only phrase he knows.
And this one explaining it.
It tries to swing at the club, but you definitely dodge aside, and it just hits Shadow. And then it does try to bite you as well. And again, you definitely move aside from its bite as it kind of awkwardly attempts to swipe at your spindly frame.
It's because I was so well hidden.
Perhaps that is the reason. Selwyn,
How
you got a
close?
big old lizard folk on your face.
How close are we? How close are our combats?
You're probably a good 20 feet away from each other.
Okay. I'm going to disengage.
Mhm.
And I am going to rush towards Bedouin and stick my short sword in the back of that stupid lizard.
That seems pretty sneaky. All right. Go ahead. You'll have advantage on this. You were not expecting that sort of movement from a dwarf.
21.
Yes, that does hit.
I would hope so.
Yeah. Christ.
These are mithril lizardmen. And you're doing all your...
Whoa, guys. We need to get the special dice out for this one.
Nine points of damage.
Ouch.
Stupid lizards.
It was worth it.
Okay. Yeah, you stab him in the back, and he kind of growls and trying to swats back at you with his shield. Corsic, you would get to go. All you get to do on your turn is you hear there's a sound of combat.
If there's a sound of combat, then I'm going to start heading over
Okay.
at a quick rate.
Yeah. So you start moving. You're a ways away. Are you moving at top speed, right? Can
Yes.
you still move? You can move 30
Correct.
on your turn.
Can he not run? Or is he have a
That's
max
his.
speed because of his armor?
He can move 30, so he can move 60. He can dash.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
he can max out at 60. He stayed pretty far back, so we're talking like 120 feet.
So 2 rounds.
So really 2 rounds of just booking it to try to get to these guys.
Quickly,
hopefully,
Dano.
Hopefully they're not dead by then.
Book it.
Sweet.
Super loud down the hallway. Clank, clank.
Yeah. The two of you don't really notice. You're kind of involved in your combat, so you're not really sure what the other lizard folk is doing. Bedouin.
How damaged is the lizardman that is in combat with me?
It's hard to say. All the damage is on the other side.
Okay. Judging by the look on his face that I saw when he was stabbed in the ass, was that kind of like it was like a
It's really hard to say. Lizard folk don't really
react?
they don't really have the same emotional reactions as mammals do. So you're really not getting a good read. You know he got stabbed. You have no sense of how badly it was. Approximately 9 points of damage worth.
somewhere around there.
Somewhere around 9 points of damage.
Somewhere around 9. I'll try to ray of frost this guy who's in front of me.
The one in front of you, and the ray of frost would be a ranged attack. You would be at disadvantage
because
to
of the
attempt
melee?
yes.
Oh, it's fine. Stupid game.
Stupid game with its rules and strategies.
Remind me, attacks of opportunity. Do they get bonuses to hit?
No, it's just they do get their regular attack to strike you. If they take
And if they hit me, I just stop movement, or do I get to keep going? I just take the damage.
you get to keep going
Oh, okay, yeah, I'll take a step
unless
back.
they have something special that
I will.
locks you
I
down.
will. I will take a step back.
You'll take the little.
Well, I guess we're close. I can disengage, and that just moves me like 5 feet.
If
out
you
of range?
disengage, it's your action.
Oh, it's the whole action.
No, it's your whole action, and
Oh,
you get your full move. You get your movement, but that's all you do is
Screw
disengage.
that. I will walk out of his range.
Okay.
I will get
Alright.
punched.
I'm gonna give him an advantage because I don't like you.
I mean,
I'll just take it.
Fair enough.
It doesn't matter. I hit. That's practically a critical, but just shy, just a wee shy of that. He swings at you with his club, and you take a whopping 6 points of damage, bludgeoning damage specifically.
Hey, can I tell by Bedouin's expression how hurt he is?
You've known Bedouin for some time, so give me an insight check, and
Oh, I roll an 8 on my insight check, which is 9 total.
sweet. He took approximately you would say 6 points of damage worth of hurt. 6 points of hurt.
I would postulate that was not good enough because I rolled a 20 on my con save to not show weakness. So it's a natural 20. So that's to 25.
That's not how that works.
That's what we're spending our natural 20s on.
He knows
Fake fort saves?
knows you far too well.
Okay.
He knows quite clearly that looks like 6 points.
Well, now that I rolled that natural 20, I'm going to attack. So attacking this guy who is currently in combat that is not at disadvantage in any way, shape, or form.
Correct.
Okay, I'm going to attack him with a.
If you roll a natural 1, I may be a dick.
It's a Ray of Frost.
Woo!
I missed.
that was not a natural 1.
It was pretty close.
It was a natural 2.
Ooh, that's like the same thing I rolled to hit you, but in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
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 Alrighty.
Damn.
So this blast of cold air comes like under its armpit and practically blasts you in the face, which is part of the course with this guy.
That's what I do. I blast people in the face. Sometimes. Actually, I have not hit with this character with a single range attack spell. I've only hit with my infestation.
And that's not even really a hit.
Right, because that automatically hits.
Correct. Correct. I have never hit with a range attack spell with this character.
Yeah, it's fun.
Which is
Good
great.
times.
It's great.
Good thing you're such a just wonderfully charismatic character. You don't really need to fight. It's all about the narrative.
It's all about minor illusions.
It's all about the personality and those really effective minor illusions.
that nobody sees.
Yeah. Well, in this particular case, you are clearly ineffective and not a threat. So the other lizard folk that was engaged with Selwyn will converge with his compatriot to try to take down this clearly more dangerous being. So they will both take attacks, and they will get advantage on these attacks because they will now flank Selwyn because now there's nobody there to help him.
Corsic, hurry! I need somebody else to stand in combat, please.
These bites don't seem to work on the dwarves, and dwarves don't look particularly tasty. They're going to take 2 weapon attacks. First attack. Oh shit! I'm gonna have to re-roll that because I don't know if I rolled the red one or the orange one. They both looked like high rolls, but I didn't like that. I didn't know.
14.
I do hit. So they miss you. The first one misses you with his spiked club, but comes spinning around and smacks you with his spiked shield. They like their spikes. You take only 3 points of piercing damage from that shield.
It appears we found the 80s punk rock lizard men.
Mm-hmm. The other one that has now flanked you, he still hasn't tried to. He's pretty keen on biting, so he's going to try to take a bite at you first, and fails. That's an advantage, and he fails, and then he will follow up also with his shield because his buddy got a shield, and it looks like they have a shield fighting contest, and he smacks you with his spiked shield, doing 4 points of piercing damage. And now you're surrounded by lizard folk. All right. Corsic, you're in about 60 feet.
Correct.
I'll say that you notice this, and you can give me a perception check at disadvantage. Edwin.
Woo! 8. Oh no. 1.
Okay. Okay, great.
I forgot about disadvantage.
Yeah, you're obsessed with that fact. You cannot hit with any of your spells. But
why have I been cursed?
this is not really a perception check for someone who's got nothing to look at but what's in front of them, specifically in all wider pants. You do see you see the scene in front of you.
All right.
You got light coming in from this room, and then your dark vision kind of clears up the rest of the scene and turns that dim light into pretty clear black and white images. You can see what's going on in this melee.
Right.
Your Selwyn is surrounded. And then further on, you do see another lizard folk looking shape kind of disappear towards the west and vanish from sight. So you're not sure what's going on or where he went, but you see him kind of vacate.
All right, so there's one more outside of this combat. Don't know what he's doing.
And then you can get effectively engaged with these lizard folk, or if you wish, on your turn.
Yeah, I'll get right up in there.
I mean, I'm just letting you know, but you can't. It's not your turn. It's Selwyn's turn to act. I just want to let you know because the lizard folk are doing things, and that's where you're at. So what do you want to do?
Okay, so I am going to.
Don't want to get you.
That's right. He rolled really bad too.
I am going to stab the one I was working on.
Okay. Sure thing. Hope you succeed.
I hit 16.
16 does hit.
Less exciting without someone standing there.
It's true.
I do 7 points of damage.
That's still really good.
Okay. How many of them are around me?
Two.
2? And there was, 4 total?
There were 4 total. You only saw 3 and a corpse when you came down here.
Okay. I am going to disengage and press further into the room.
Okay. Disengage for you as a bonus action.
It is.
Okay. And do you get your full 25 feet of movement when you disengage? As bonus action? I believe you do.
Yes.
And then, so what do you want to do? Are you going to sprint into the room as far as you can get?
Yeah.
I mean, you could basically take a move action, then decide from there.
Sure.
So you move into the room. You notice as you start doing this that other lizard folk is out of sight. As you move in there, he clearly has gone somewhere. As you move in the room, give me a perception check. And you use about. You're gonna have to use both your movement to get much further in.
Perception is +5, I believe. 23.
Okay. You definitely can see movement, slight movement. You see like a tail whip. So he's whatever there is a lizard folk in that room to the west through the open door.
Okay.
And you hear it. It's like kind of scraping claws or like scraping on stone or whatever this substance is that this place is made out of. And you also hear like hissing, you would almost assume like kind of mumbling to themselves. But if you can press forward if you want to get a better sense. If you want to move into that room, you can move close to it, but you can't get into the room from
What's
there.
my gut saying? By my gut, I mean the voice that was edging me on before.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the way to go. If this is the way you want to get into this place, then that is probably the fastest way to get in. That's all it's really telling you. It's not telling you to wait and see what this lizard folk does. It's not telling you anything like that. You do have a compulsion that you need to press forward, but you do so. Nothing's telling you to be reckless about it. Just that the goal is important, and whatever you need to do to figure it out, do that.
So my intention is more to try to like bait the ones I was just fighting with and see what's going on. So I guess I'm gonna kind of stay where I'm at to see if I can.
Well, at about 25 feet of movement, you get a sense that the initial movement, you still have an action or movement left at that point. So you can either move further in and you can move up towards that pedestal.
Oh, yeah, let's do that then.
So you want to put your back up against the pedestal?
Sure.
And just kind of stay, like bait them in that sense? Sure. Okay. Your intent is to have them to come at you at that.
Sure.
Okay. Alrighty. So now Corsic, you just see Selwyn kind of slip away. And the lizard like, what the fuck? And actually, you hear that in lizard folky. What the fuck? If you're using common languages, I think you have to activate it.
It lasts about an hour, so I think I'm still good.
You're still good. It's been about an hour, so.
Yeah, if someone's managed to get away, then I need to occupy their time, so I'm just going to run up into the two of them.
All right, you just swap places with them effectively.
Yeah.
Except maybe you're effectively flanking them. You know they'll be able to flank you if Bedouin doesn't do anything different.
I'm willing to take that risk.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to slide into that spot, tag in, as it were. All right, Bedouin, what you got? What amazing mystical sorcery tricks do you have up your sleeve this time?
I will cast Ray of Frost at the same one I've been
Ray
trying
of
to cast.
Frost!
Ray of Frost. Hey!
I don't know what that is. Tell me what you rolled.
like high, like I hit him.
All right, there's 20 numbers in that die. Which one plus the other numbers did you get?
The highest minus the
20,
lowest.
25.
Sweet, that hits. That hits him with a ray of frost.
Yeah. Suck
Oh,
my dick,
but these
lizard man.
are frost lizard folk.
No, you don't get those because you don't get to be cold-blooded and be frost lizard folk.
Yeah, you do. It's D&D.
So he takes.
Which one were you trying to hit, by the way?
The one who wasn't cut.
The wounded one?
The wounded one, yes. He takes 6 cold damage, and his speed is reduced by 10 feet.
Oh, man. So
until my next turn.
you hit him dead center with your ray of frost. Almost. And of course, because you weren't expecting him to run like almost right in front of your line of fire.
What an idiot!
But you nail him. You nail this lizard folk. And he just kind of gets hit by this ray. See him gonna turn a cold whitish sheen as your frost kind of builds over it. And he falls very slowly to the ground and dies.
I'm sure he's just hibernating.
Did his tail fall off and wiggle a little bit? It's gross.
I hit with a range attack spell!
We're very excited for you.
Me too, bro.
The lizard folk less so.
3 levels. That's the first time.
Let's do the fighting lizard folk first. He can't deal with a Selwyn. He's got a shiny pointy-eared thing staring at him now. So he's going to try to attack Corsic.
It's like, are you a unicorn or something? Is it fucking pointy thing?
Spike shield has been working since pointy ears.
Oh.
Yeah,
Somewhat pointy
Oh,
ears.
I heard pointy ear thing, not pointy ear.
I did sort of just slur that.
You're a big pointy ear thing.
you go.
Is your AC higher than 18?
Not currently, no.
All right, then. You get smacked in the face with a spikish shield, and you take 4 points of piercing damage.
Oh no.
He hit you right with the spike.
And you're wearing some pretty significant armor. Significant armor, at least. It's pretty obvious. He's going to smack at you with his great club.
All right.
And definitely hit. It's a 17 on the die. Woo! High damage. 7 points of bludgeoning damage. He smacks you upside the head.
This armor does nothing.
Don't you love it? Don't you love the AC that just it gets ignored every time the dice get
The
rolled?
higher your AC gets, the easier it is to hit.
Yeah, so it works. You would notice this, but let's see what actually happens, because this lizard folk is doing something. Oh, shit.
Maybe he's not.
No, he's succeeding at the thing. That wasn't this son of a bitch. These sons of bitches are good at this thing.
Suddenly, Tiamat.
Ah!
He like eating bugs and doing lizard things.
So you see him hiss under his breath, like a very very pronounced word. You're trying to catch, and then you hear like the shifting of stone, and you see this. You kind of make out this movement of stone lifting out of the corner of your eye, and you hear like a rumble, and everyone can kind of hear this rumble. These guys are good at this. I don't know why they needed you for. All right, Selwyn.
Can I see their combat, or did I move past?
No, you're staring at their combat.
I'm staring at their combat, and I'm staring at the other guy.
You know, the other guy is out the corner of your eye. So you into this room. There was a passageway. So you're coming down the hallway, and I'm the destination. This is the center room.
It's a little narcissistic, isn't it?
Who can I shoot?
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you wanted to get a sense. You cannot shoot the guy that's in that room. You have a sense of movement there, but you don't have you'd have to move to get a sight of.
So I'm going to shoot one of the chuckleheads fighting him.
There's only one left because the other one got iced.
I killed him.
Well, then I will shoot that guy.
Don't point at me when you
what's
say
your
that.
optimum range?
My optimum
it's
range.
30 feet.
No, it's more than that.
Oh yeah, they're good. You're good. It's more than 30 feet. You're good.
Yeah.
So straight roll to hit.
Let me make sure. It's 30 and then 120.
You'd have to step forward a little bit to get within 30 feet.
Okay.
So maybe 10 foot, and you're
Sure.
good to go. Okay,
A hit. I'm assuming with 18 on the dice.
that does hit.
So nice having this extra d6. Except it keeps rolling once. 16 points of damage.
Yikes. You see visibly shudder as Selwyn, trademark, fires his crossbow. You're used to the reactions. You've never seen this ethereal bolt actually travel. Maybe just the wisps as it does so. You see the reaction. You see like the little tip of a silver tip pop through his like edge of his shoulder here, and then vanish in ethereal mist. Selwyn, you feel it return mystically to your ancient dwarven crossbow, which you've never bothered to research.
Or particularly describe in any meaningful
No,
way.
I'm trying to help. However, the lizard folk remains standing. Definitely seems to have hurt. It's like gushing blood, like it literally nicked. Maybe
It's a severe wound.
Severe wound.
So,
Not
and then
life threatening, but severe.
with the rest of my movement, I will move back to where I was.
Okay. All right. Corsic.
All right. I will attempt to finish him off with my sword, or at least take him out of the combat.
Nicely.
So that's going to be a 14.
A 14 comes up short. He deflects your blow with his shield.
It's unfortunate.
But luckily, you didn't hurt him.
That's
so
fair.
That's very pacifist of you.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I only get one attack around, so that's it.
Oh,
Aww. I feel bad too. All right, Bedouin. It looks like your compatriot, Corsic, per usual, is trying to negotiate through combat with your adversaries and not kill them. It's a constant issue. He just keeps swatting ineffectually at the guy and just keeping him engaged.
I mean, I'm betting 1,000 at this point. I'm going to cast Ray of Frost.
That's absolutely not the statistics,
You're
but
batting,
okay.
you're batting a 500.
hey, it's a 2.
Look at that. You're batting a 330.
You're again almost frozen solid by
do you know what I think it is? So my guy's only strength 9, and it's the kick on this Ray of Frost. It's a
I think it's because he has to leave his hand up for so long. It's just it's too fatiguing. It's too hard. All right.
and I'll move. I'll move closer to where Selwyn is, or I watch Selwyn go. I'll kind of like try to rotate around the combat.
Sure. Okay.
I mean, you can't make my shots any worse.
No. All right. So when you see this lizard folk seems intent on ending your life, if at all possible.
That's Bedouin.
No, that's Corsic.
Corsic.
No,
Corsic. This lizard folk seems hell bent on ending your life.
All right, so for the next game, we're all gonna have "Hello, my name is" name tags.
It would be super helpful. I got them right before we started. I should have little notes.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll make some notes.
Maybe you're underprepared.
Maybe I'll make some notes. No, I just can't remember your dumb names. They're all the same.
I'm Kevin.
Kevin would be nice.
Maybe when I get to K.
Kevin the dwarf. He does try to smack you with his spike shield again because that was working so well, but it fails him this time. You're able to deflect it easily.
Oh, that's good.
Comes in with a bite, and then feels that maybe he needs to get a taste just to see if it's worth ending your life. And you take 8 points of piercing damage as he gets hold of your flesh,
All right, now
ignoring your armor.
not doing so hot.
It doesn't feel so good either because there's like tongue action.
Oh, that's
You feel so it's like
just uncalled for.
Yeah, it's like there's a bite, it's getting flesh, and he's definitely tasting what's going on there. It's a real violation of personal space. Selwyn,
All right.
you don't see there's movement that you can sense. It's not whatever it is that lizard folk is not trying to be stealthy, but no sound of shifting stone yet.
But I still can't shoot him.
No, not from.
All right. So I'm a little surprised that my buddies are not coming down the hallway. So I step back over there, and I look, and I see that the combat's still going on.
Yeah, you can see you're staring at the combat.
Okay,
You're not hiding.
so I'm
from
looking
it.
at that.
Yeah.
I give a shrug. I raise Keldrakar, and I shoot again.
Take a shot.
Ooh, it's not as good. That is an 11.
Does not miss. The shot goes wide. You're a telltale. They say that does not hit.
You said that does not miss.
It doesn't miss the wall that he was not aiming at.
That door is not unlocked.
There's not.
I didn't miss. 17 points of damage.
So it goes wide and sinks into the wall, and you see like a little whiff of a field of smoke as it reappears back in your crossbow bolt chamber. Is that you want to move back to your position again, or you want to say you're going to move back up against the wall?
Yeah.
Okay. Corsic, how you doing?
Not too well.
Am I kicking your ass with this lizard guy?
A bit. I actually have a question. I don't know about this specific mechanic. Is there a reckless attack option?
Oh, of like kind of they're not. No, there's reckless attack, but that is like a marshal's like feat ability to,
Alright, then.
to make.
That's what
yeah.
savage Norsemen do.
Yeah.
Northmen.
Yeah, there's no way to take that as a standard action. I believe. Let me double check. I know you can dodge. No. You gotta be better. You gotta be better at being a warrior.
Thump
Alright,
'em.
That's fine. I was just asking because Corsic's losing is cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not gonna try and do this stealthily. I'm just gonna try and gore this guy on my sword
You were trying to be stealthy this whole time.
passively. I'm
Okay.
not trying to subdue him. I want him dead.
All right. So now now it's a killing blow.
Yes.
Now all of your faith
And
out the
now
window.
I'm angry.
So yeah. So you're a pacifist until you get bit.
I have anger problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Wrath is my vice, so that's gonna be a 19 to hit.
That absolutely hits this poor lizard folk. What did he ever do to you? He's just hungry.
That's gonna be a 9.
Oh yeah, you skewer him right through as if he wasn't wearing armor, which he barely is, but he's naturally armored. And he looks at you. He's like licks his lips one last time, like get the last little blood off his lips, and then his eyes roll back, and then it just kind of goes limp, and he kind of slides off your blade. I feel sorry for him.
The taste was too good for him.
We're going to stay in combat just a little bit longer to see what everyone does. The other lizard folk is clearly not directly engaging you. Bedouin, what is your action? You see this lizard folk dispatched.
So I'm gonna go.
You know there was 3. You don't know where the third one is.
Well, I did see Selwyn go off to the west.
You see Selwyn.
Yeah,
No, he
so-
didn't go off to the west. He went. You could see him. He's been killing your guys. He's right there.
Well, no. If you remember correctly, he missed that last attack.
Well,
It's unacceptable.
I mean, it depends. He's a dwarf.
We have expectations. I'm gonna go off to him. He's
Okay.
been leading this particular archaeological dig. So let's follow this guy.
Do you want to shout and you say anything to him as you move up to someone?
I mean, I figure I can get to him in one movement because he got
Effectively.
here in one movement.
It's a little vague. We're not in
Yeah.
tight movement.
So
right now.
yeah. I'll get on and be like, man, you really gotta work on that accuracy. So what's going on?
Does it feel like we should be doing something in this room?
You feel like you need to be progressing, and you feel that the quickest way to progress is through an open door.
Okay.
So you see in this room, and you really haven't got to lay the room. You know that there's a space beyond this raised pedestal, which is illuminating this room from whatever is on top of it. There is, from your perspective, if you turn around and face the pedestal, to what would be the west, is an open passageway where that lizard folk went in, and you know that some large stone was additionally moved. And then to your east is a closed passageway, another big circular door. And these are massive, massive doors, about almost 30 feet.
Can I holler the word that the lizard man said at me, or is it too lizardy?
Can you holler the word the lizard man said at you?
Yeah.
Just you can attempt to give me a history check, an intelligence check, to see if you can recall the actual
Nope.
syllables. Yeah.
If there's a wrong word, I said the wrong one.
Yeah. You just spout out gobbledygook, and
Yeah.
it comes out like bibbly wampus doodle. Like it's not even. It's not even.
Do you understand what I said?
What'd you say about his mom?
It wasn't a language. It was not a language. That word was not in any lexicon that exists in the multiverse. No, you're not able to recall it. You get a general sense. Okay, given some time and research, maybe you could jog your memory. Or if you see it, or someone else pronounces it to you, you can recognize it. But yeah, you can't. It was too quick and too weirdly garbled.
Hey, I think we should go through that door.
And Corsic, or your plan is to follow to
Yeah, I'm gonna take a moment to lay on hands, my shoulder wound.
how many
I'm gonna
hands you're gonna lay?
I'm gonna lay 10 hit points worth of hands on
Woo!
myself because I'm not doing well.
Okay.
So I think we should go down that door.
Yeah.
Also, there's a lizardman in there.
All right, let's go.
Yeah. I'll lead the way.
All right. So you step through into this other passageway. It is a circular room, similar to the one you were in, except without the center dais, the center illumination dais. It is still getting light from the door you pass through, but you don't see any other light sources in here. The passageway you open, the door was open. You don't see any clear markings. There is another open passageway in front of you. And down the hallway, you see it kind of goes for over 100 feet or more, over 120 feet or more, and then curves. So you don't see.
So it's important to know. It's an important distinction.
Yeah, it goes at least for another 120 feet or more, and then into darkness. You kind of see, like, look, there's another curve to it. But beyond that, you don't see any movement. You don't hear anything specifically, though. If you want, you guys can give me perception checks.
I got a 15.
A 10?
A 15.
I perceived the 10.
5.
Okay,
Oh, look at that. Multiples of 5.
sure. You hear some noise. It sounds like a voice, but it's barely perceptible. You would assume it's probably a lizard man, but it's not being loud. But there's definitely some noise down that hallway.
So just to recap, the number of lizard men that I witnessed come down this hallway from the surface have all been accounted for, save one. Correct?
Correct.
Cool. We don't really need to sneak anymore. We can just run.
Did you mention that there was writing on the walls as well at some point?
I did mention there was writing specifically on the doors.
Oh, okay.
But you don't. I mean, do you want to investigate this room that you're in more so than just passing through it?
Not currently, no.
Okay. But you don't see any writing. You did see writing on the other door. It was clearly writing on the other door.
All right.
But not. These doors were both open.
I do want to do one thing before we head out. So you've been telling us that we've been having like a gut feeling that we need to progress through this dungeon and
Absolutely.
stuff. So I would like to roll an Arcana check to see if this is an effect that I would recognize.
What effect?
The effect that like we feel like we need to get to the end of this with.
No, you just. It's called certainty.
Yeah, I'd like to roll an Arcana check to see if.
Yeah, you don't think that's necessary.
Are they acting weird?
No,
All right.
not particularly. They are wanting to push forward.
We have a job to do.
Yeah.
So, does it feel like anything should be done in this room?
No.
Is there like a stand here? Is there like a stand here?
I mean,
spot?
I pose the same question to you that I would like a response to. Do you progress through this room to follow or to pursue the other lizard folk down this hallway, or do you linger in this room to investigate it further? What is the decision?
Oh, I
of
am
the group?
lingering.
Okay, so you wish to linger. Do you have a discussion amongst each other? Roleplay.
Do you have to?
I'm just going to start my stopwatch for no reason.
Do you have to let it linger?
I'm not saying I'm lingering. I'm lingering.
What is in here?
Okay. What is you're going to look around a bit?
I'm looking around.
Okay.
Does it feel like I need to? Is there a press button?
Give me a perception check.
for service. Ooh, that's a natural one, but it touched my finger, so that's that needs to be re-rolled.
No, I don't know. I don't think that's how that works at
Oh,
all.
that's a 5.
You are preoccupied with that door. You're like, how does the mechanism of the door move? And so you're just really obsessing about how this door functions, and you get a little sidetracked from actually investigating the rest of the room. Does anybody else have any?
Are we gonna?
Selwyn is
Are we gonna proceed on?
Selwyn is not proceeding on. He's looking at this door.
He's looking at this door.
What about it?
It's cool.
Is there anything remarkable about this door?
Are you gonna investigate the door?
Sure.
Give me a perception check.
I've been known to trust Selwyn's eyes before. It's a 7.
Yeah. Looks like it's a door that somehow opens and closes on some sort of mechanism that works spherically. Like there's no hinge mechanism that goes up into the wall.
Right.
It's like raised up somehow inside this structure.
And this one doesn't have any markings on it?
The door is out of sight. There's no
okay.
markings along the frame of the door at all.
It's weird. There should be a hinge.
We need to get going. We don't want to be here any longer than we have to be.
Okay.
You hear like the sound of you would almost presume it's gas, and then the hallway in front of you just bursts into flames. There's just gouts of flames come from like several directions at once, and like you can't see for the rest of the hallway because the entire space in front of you is burning hot, and it flickers in the door. I need you two to give me dexterity saving throws.
Oh, okay. 16?
Selwyn?
24.
Okay. You both leap back as these as the flames like come through the door. There's the force is more like it kind of licks through. It's clearly the flames are coming from the sides and the floors and the ceiling, but enough of it comes through that you get caught in the blast slightly. You get singed. You both hop back enough. You only get singed a little bit. You take 2 points of fire damage. But that heat is intense. You would not have liked to have been in that hallway when this happened.
Is that the hallway that we perceived the lizard men had gone down?
Absolutely.
All right, Selwyn, so what do you propose?
Let's not go down that door.
You hear a loud groan coming from deep in the hallway.
And that accounts for the lizard men.
It's not stopping. It's still groaning.
Why would
I'm not dead! I'm just slightly burnt! You could just send somebody down!
Why would they trigger their own traps?
Maybe you didn't set it.
Maybe it was a suicide.
Maybe this isn't their place.
Most likely not.
Okay.
Let's not go down that hallway. Is there another way to go from here?
The only thing you noticed was the other closed door in the main room that you descended into.
Might as well check it out. Just to see. What over there? Over to the other closed door.
Okay. Sure thing. You head over to the other closed door, and you notice it is massive. Obviously, same size as the other doors. And glancing at it, you see that there are symbols that are clearly letters etched into this door.
Yeah. I'll place my hand upon the door.
Okay.
A necessary requirement for the helmet to read the language.
Mm-hmm. All right.
All right.
You are able to determine that the language or the script is Draconic. All of these letters are in Draconic, and you can give me. You would give me a. Go ahead and give me a insight check, maybe.
Sure.
Anyone can give me an insight. Well, just you. I guess you're the one who's looking at those letters, but you can all give me an insight checks as well, but at disadvantage.
It's a 19.
Okay. You guys can not bother. That's
Cool.
a pretty good roll. From what you can tell, looking at this, all of these letters arranged in a certain way, there's a somewhat of a story being told, and then there is a puzzle tied to this. So it is definitely indicating iconography and word placement that would suggest the cold or a white dragon. And it is your summation that there is an entry phrase or entry word that needs to be uttered in order to make this door open correctly. Your guess is that it is probably a proper name. So you have, as far as being able to determine what this is, you can give me some ideas of what you think you need to do.
Sure. Relaying this out loud to the two of you. This seems to be some kind of password protected doorway. There's some indications here that it's connected to a white dragon. It's in Draconic. I don't know that. I believe none of you speak that.
So
I heard that lizard men say it.
You heard him say a word and open the door?
You did hear him say a word and open a door.
Yes.
was it this
Do you
door?
remember what it was?
Sure I do. Do you want me to roll a disadvantage? Since I
You can
did
roll
it
a
last
history check with disadvantage.
That's a 2.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
That's a 2.
okay.
So
Yeah, you can't.
It's probably a proper name of some kind.
So-
Yeah.
so I'm from the north.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's going to be a dragon in the north, it's going to be a white dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And I presume that most dragons have some sort of myth or notoriety.
Mm-hmm.
Having lived my whole life in the north, can I come up with any white dragon names from stories I was told as a child or stories that curses perhaps?
You potentially could. The problem that you're going to run into is that sometimes white dragons in stories are given names by the people that fear them, and that isn't necessarily their names in Draconic. So there's a chance that you could recall an incorrect name and not be able to call an actual proper name. But if you want to make a history check, I'll let you do it at disadvantage.
And is there any chance that over the years of performing tales, though I'm not particularly from the north, if there was a white dragon of any particular renown from that region, is it possible that I've come across it as a performer?
It's possible.
There are 3 doors here, correct? There was one that was open to fire.
There were two doors out of this place. Beyond the other pedestal, there's no doorway.
No. So I came up with a few white dragon names: Hilda, and Roanoke, the white dragon. So Hilda,
Right.
It doesn't sound like a dragon name.
Roanoke.
Better, but
You assume, Corsic, that to actually make the door open, there is a and I don't I guess maybe you just let Bedouin do this, but there is a central piece of
Iconography.
iconography. Thank you. In the door that you feel needs to be you can see looks like you would assume would need to be depressed. Go ahead and
Come on,
give
guys.
me an
It's
investigation.
okay.
You can give me this is also if you would like to do this. Someone I would assume you'd be looking over this place. You can give me an investigation or a perception check if you wish to get an idea of how this thing functions.
That's an 11.
Okay.
And it's stonework?
Are you using? It is stonework.
I get a thing for that.
What do you get?
is it advantage?
It is advantage. Ooh, it's a natural 20.
Holy fuck! Really? Sorry. Okay then. Yeah. So you guys are kind of trying to come up with dragon names. So when you're looking over this thing and there's like, well, you don't know from magic, and it's possible that it is voice activated. That's a possible thing. But looking at this thing without touching it, just visually going over it, all of these letters and letter combinations that make up this doorway can all be depressed. You can see that they all can be moved as buttons. And then you would assume that there's probably a sequence of buttons, and then the final centerpiece, pressed in, depressed, activates and locks it in. You would also presume that based on the reaction of whatever would happen in that hallway, since you already know there's multiple doors, if there's another door, there's probably a consequence to entering the wrong thing in and then depressing it. You don't know if you could speak while touching it
Okay.
in Draconic and say the word and it would have the same effect.
All right, guys. So, I think we can get this door open. This moves here, and this moves here, and this moves here. But I don't think we can get it open safely.
Is that a perception check?
It was.
Okay.
So, I don't think anyone else is opening this door. And all the lizard men are dead, or presumed dead. So, why don't you guys take a look around here and watch while I rest for a little bit? Because I'm tired as hell and not feeling great.
Yeah, I'll take a look around.
Okay. How long you're going to try to do a short rest?
Yes.
That's an hour.
Okay.
I thought short rest was like 10 minutes.
Nope.
Nope.
Not in 5th edition. And the one thing that when you're suggesting it, you're thinking about the other thing with that natural 20 is that you're fairly certain that when the doors are open, they're on a timer and they probably shut relatively quickly after they've been utilized. Obviously not immediately, but probably a few minutes before that. And so you've got those 2 doors that are currently open probably will shut. And that's not acceptable. Rest's probably not acceptable.
No, let's just go to there.
Just go through the open one.
Yeah.
You think that it's possible if studied, you don't know if there's anything, but it's possible because you remember the scratches? You rolled natural 20, so I'm just giving you a lot of info. If you could, you might be able to guesstimate if the buttons have been pressed and if there's any residual scratching or scarring similarly that you can notice, you may be able to guess the name with an appropriate amount of investigation.
Let's do that. That sounds like fun. I will make an investigation. Whatever that.
Well, how about this? If you all take the time, or at least 2 of you take the time to investigate, you can get it one roll with advantage. Or I guess roll 2 separate investigations. But the problem is,
I will help. I will
This is-
help investigate.
This is why we needed Barney's to come with us.
He would have a lot of lore.
He would have been dead.
He would have been dead. He would have gotten bitten by a spider and dragged into the water.
What are we rolling for?
Some sort of we're investigating the writings and the scratches and the other stuff.
Okay.
is that a great description?
We're taking out the dust
You're
powder.
trying to
rubbing
see
it-
if you
We're
can.
looking for.
You're looking for fingerprints on the buttons. Effectively.
What am I rolling?
You're rolling an investigation check
That's
with advantage.
Okay, so that is a
Intelligence.
19, I think. Investigation. I don't think I have any special. 19.
Okay, 90 total. You think you have a pretty good idea what the sequence would be for this door.
Cool. I'm gonna do it.
Pretty sure.
All right, I'm doing it.
Okay.
I'm gonna back up.
So, and I will hold the holes in my guts.
How injured are you?
I'm down to 10 hit points.
Oh,
11 hit points.
yeah. I'm gonna give you 5 hit points.
How are you gonna do that?
Boop. Lay on hands. lay a radiant palm upon his spilled guts.
Oh, my guts are a little less spilled.
All
That's
right.
the last of that, by the way.
Oh, great.
Give me a history check, please.
Natural 20.
Holy shit.
So a 20.
Okay. You think, and then just I'll let you know. I think you just noticed something important. You notice someone kind of spelling out like, okay, it's gonna be this, and then this one. I need a boost for that one. This one you do need to kind of make this work.
I'll reach over his head.
You have to like poke it with weapons and such to reach some of these. But
Mage hand.
would work appropriately. But as he's kind of spelling it out, you're like, okay, yeah, all right, that seems to be spelling something. And then you notice that he is off by 1 letter. It's a similar letter in Draconic, but your helm is telling you like, no, that doesn't actually say like that would not be how you put that. It would be.
Hold up.
They're S's and not Z's. So it's ass. It ends with ass, not as. So you stop him right before when he's about to start entering him in. He starts entering he enters in effectively to spell ukas. And you would think Z because dragons, but no, that's not how that name would be pronounced. And you at the last minute correct him and say he should be putting in these last 2 letters instead.
All right.
Do you agree? Do you trust your companion, or do you continue? He did roll a natural 20. I don't know. It wasn't secret. You should probably trust that. It would be really dickish of me to fuck you over as a result of a natural 20.
So I make the comment, too many cooks. And then I do what he said to do.
Okay.
Orcas, that's right.
And the doorway kind of recesses for a second, shifts. All the buttons kind of pull in, and then it rolls up into the ceiling, slowly, revealing a passageway beyond. not revealing necessarily a passageway, but revealing another circular room similar to the one by the other door. In fact, almost immediately after you activate this door, the door opening to the other direction, you hear it because you hear this first door just close off. Now, I'll give you guys, if you wish, a last minute chance. You have 2 passageways, one that you've just opened and one that is closing.
The one that's closing goes to where the fire was, right?
The one that's closing goes where the fire is with an open door. This one, you can see as it's opening, there is another door similarly positioned, but it is still shut. So you would have to figure out how to get past this door as well.
Similar layout on
and
the
this,
door.
as this opens, you're blasted kind of with a smell of acid. Like the acidic tinge is really strong.
I think
in the air in this passage.
I think this is the way to go.
I agree.
I want to look up in the passage.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any traps there?
So you're just be clear, you're letting the other door close.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a perception check. Anybody can give me one, but I'm just selling. Screw you guys.
Yeah, I only perceived an 8.
You guys can all give me a perception check.
That's an 8.
17.
Okay. When you in this particular room, again circular, within the door facing north, similar with words and iconography on it, different words placements, different iconography. This room has what appears to be drains. It's like a grated drain, and up on the ceiling at several locations there are what looks like gaping dragon maws that clearly look like some sort of spouts. They kind of built into the ceiling. It's your eyes are actually watering from how acidic it feels in here. There's like a sense of just like a burning in the air. On the ground, you can see what appears to be remains of some sort of form, mostly bones, mostly whitened bones.
Is there anything on the ground like rubble or furniture or something that one could stand on to elevate themselves?
There's an ottoman.
Who?
No, there's not.
What?
There's nothing. There is actually nothing. There is the only thing that's on the ground is the barely perceivable remains of you would guess probably a lizard folk on those few remaining bits and pieces.
The punishment for failure.
You want to go take a look at that?
At the remains? No. Not particularly.
Are the remains just in the middle of the room, or are
they're closer to the? They actually are in the middle of the room. They're actually spread out. It looks like pieces, like whatever tendons there are gone. Like there's pieces. There's still some residual bits of flesh. In the tight corners of some pieces of this, and it stinks. Like it's fresh-ish in the past probably few hours.
How about you, Corsic? You want to go down there?
I mean, it's just right. You're just looking at it. It's right there. Just a room. It's
Yeah.
30 feet.
Just a
diameter.
room, guys.
Just a room, guys.
We have to go forward somehow.
I mean, a room of death, clearly.
So beyond the remains, there's like another door, correct?
Yes.
I would like to go investigate the other door.
Sure.
Yeah.
Similarly to the one that you just opened, it is iconography. You have a fairly glancing over it. You can't speak Draconic,
Nope.
but you would assume the puzzle is nearly identical.
What's it say?
Taking a quick glance over the corpse, the remains, there's nothing here other than bits of flesh and bone, right?
Correct. What you do see that's kind of odd is a lot of the bone piece. There's a few bone fragments, and that you would assume would be exposed or be part of bony protrusions on this creature. And actually, some of the bone are actually have a darkened, blackened color creeping into it.
It's a good name for a bard.
Creeping
Darkened
Bony protrusions.
I don't know. Is it
for a bar?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a gnome bard.
Oh, for a bard.
Yeah.
bard?
Oh, I was thinking like a public house.
I was thinking about a tavern.
I was thinking. I mean, I think it'd be better as a punk rock band, but
Interesting. All right. Well, there's nothing useful knowledge-wise on this.
turn.
but-
I look back. I'm like, turn that undead later.
Um,
Touch this door now, please.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
Give me a perception check.
perception. It's gonna be a 17.
Okay. You glance up at Bedouin.
Yeah.
His hair looks a little darker.
Hmm.
Sorry, it's yeah.
All right.
Like it looks like he's got like streaks. Like there's like some of his hair is black.
What do the walls look like in this room? Are they smooth? Are they rough?
They're the same. Again, you don't see any other than the doorway, the moving function, the mechanisms of the doorway. The makeup of this room is similar to the rest of the structure, where there doesn't seem to be any seams. It seems as if it's formed or painted in these apparatus. So the ground is graded. There clears to be drainage holes. And it is of still the same structural make. But
What's underneath the grate?
You see it's just kind of like drops down, and there's just some space. And give me a perception check.
14.
So you see it goes down for a few feet, and there's more drainage holes lower down. So there's like a drain and a little bit of space and some supports, and then more drain going in a different direction.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and check out the door, see if there's any particular pattern to this similar to the last one.
It does appear to be same mechanism as the other one. The placement of the letters and words are different. It's definitely indicating in this case a different type of dragon. You kind of know where this seems to be a similar pattern. You would presume this is a green dragon of some kind, and it's asking for a similar sort of phrasing, which you would either be able to. You don't know. The only problem, and someone I think you would initially think this. You don't see any markings, so whatever it's like this. Everything is cleaned of any residual markings.
That's what acid does.
What? Did you see through my secret trap ruse?
This room has heavy acidic markings, but the last room also had the same acidic tendencies.
No.
It had an acidic tang.
There was a tang, which you would possibly presume that the door has already been opened once.
Was the last room
based on this dead body?
Was the last room cold?
There was a slight chill that was noticeable.
It was.
Yeah.
How thick are these grates? Super thick.
Yeah, they're like this particular brick, like half a foot of when I say grate, there's like a half a foot of floor and maybe like an inch of space, or a little bit, maybe an inch.
Not actual grates, just
not
spaces.
actual grates, just grate spaces, grating spaces.
Okay.
It's all still made of the same.
Okay.
So
you
this does look like another puzzle. We need.
Do you know what to put in there?
Huh?
Do you know what that guy's name is?
The green dragon. Do I know of any names of green dragons?
You can.
I don't think guessing randomly is going to help us.
It might. You don't know. You can certainly give me a check at disadvantage.
I'll help.
What type of check?
History check.
I'll help with that.
All right. Would that give me advantage? That's canceling out.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, you can take it. You can take it. You have your helmet. You can take it at the standard history check.
Oh, okay.
I would like to help.
Sure.
Take it
You get advantage.
to get advantage.
I'm gonna need that.
I mean,
Hey, look, a 12.
Just a pair of 12s. I'm glad I helped.
what is that your total?
That is my total.
Yeah. No idea.
Yep. I don't know. And I'm guessing if we guessing correctly, we're gonna turn into slurry. So what do we want to do about this? The other door is closed. We could, in theory, figure out how to get that one open, similar, but
we'd be in the same spot that we're in now.
right.
Yep.
So is there another path forward that you can think of?
You're a rogue. Are you able to somehow disable this mechanism or otherwise affect it in a way that benefits us?
I don't think so.
I mean, we could guess randomly from across the room with your fancy magic.
What's the range of your mage hand?
30 feet.
Oh, it's 32 feet away.
It actually is. you. So it's a 30-foot diameter space, and the actual doors are about 5 feet in, like recessed into the frame, the structure. So it does give you a little bit, like 5 feet extra out of your reach. So you'd have to, if you attempted something like that, you would still be within the danger zone, and you don't know what actually happens.
So
I have clues.
Do you have any idea?
All I got is some kind of green dragon.
Do I feel like I need to go to that door?
You do feel like you need to progress. There's nothing telling you you do need to progress forward.
Is there anything?
Nothing's you don't really know. I mean, I don't know. Do you have any other idea how to get into this structure beyond the way that you've taken?
No.
Is there any other writing in this room? Anything on the walls or anything on the ground or anything scattered about in here other than simple grates and stone walls?
Bless you.
Thank you.
You're looking around. You don't see anything obvious. Again, it's this whatever the substance is. It doesn't seem to leave markings. So there's not anything that's obviously done there other than the writing that's on the door itself. I mean, your feeling about this locking mechanism is it's not meant to dick with people. It's meant to be a locking mechanism.
Right.
Can I disarm that at all? Can I figure out anything?
There's in your wildest dreams, anything's possible.
But it's not
But
realistically possible.
It is not a realistic thing. The mechanism is far too complicated, and the repercussions of failure, if you make a mistake, you would assume you could set this thing off relatively easily.
Okay. So my gut also says don't just mash random buttons.
Correct. You shouldn't just kill yourself. If you think it would be unlikely. It's certainly a possibility. You're fairly good at things. But this does seem like an extremely daunting task to ask you to try to deactivate things. You would presume. Give me an intelligence check. You can add your proficiency bonus to that.
5.
Sure. No idea. Say you don't see a single luck. You don't know. You're not sure.
All right, fellas. So we either mash buttons or calling it a day and going home.
No, you can't call it a day.
Did we ever investigate the central altar in the room previous?
You did not, or whatever that structure is.
Yeah. Let's go figure out.
All right, we will leave the room and go investigate the dais.
Sure. The dais is about 10 feet high, a little less.
I was standing there.
Yeah, but you're a dwarf.
It's up on top of a platform.
You don't see any particular writing along the dais. It's definitely glowing. There is some light glowing from the top of it.
Yeah, I'll climb up there.
Okay. Give me strength athletics.
Sure. How tall is it?
10 feet. Almost 10 feet.
23 with a natural 20.
Shit!
I
All right.
I hop up to the...
Yeah. Bedouin's looking at it, and you just like walk up his back without even asking.
God damn it.
And you're just up there, and you're staring into this, and you see clearly it's a liquid pool. At least it appears to be some sort of liquid. It's a shifting, glowing light. There seems to be multiple colors in this light, but when the light comes out, it's like a clear luminescence. It's not quite white.
Okay.
It's
prismatic.
It's a bit prismatic, but it doesn't seem to shed prismatic color anywhere. But it seems prismatic on the surface of the water, or if it is water, it's liquid.
Sure.
Doesn't quite look water to you.
So, at the top is a rim around
Just
the edge,
a rim,
and then it's...
and just a plain, clear pool. Give me a perception check.
Sure. 23.
Ooh, okay. So within this pool, you occasionally catch these glimpses of imagery, and you see it seems like dragons flying, and then like dragons fighting massive creatures 10 times their size, dragons in chains bursting from their chains, bringing down these creatures, dragons being smashed by these creatures. You can't parse it specifically, but your assumption is that it's telling a story repeated, like an entire chronicling of history is existing in this pool, magically, you would presume, but your brain can't put it together. It's as if like you would have to have a story told linearly.
And this is all.
This is like, it's as if it's meant for something that's able to parse various different bits of information from different sources and put it all together. And it's certainly not something that a species such as yourself will be able to do easily. But it's definitely telling something here. There's a story being told.
So I'm going to look down and let you guys know that I might be doing something very stupid.
Oh, should we be up there with you?
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and lay down atop the pillar enough so I can reach down and help them up.
Cool.
Sure. I mean, you can all get yourselves up there or given time.
And this seems to be telling some kind of story, but I can't really comprehend what it's trying to tell. I'm thinking if we have some way of potentially interacting with this, it might give us the names we need. But the only way I can think of interacting with this, aside from trying to talk to it, is getting in it. Sticking a hand in, or...
Did you try talking to it first?
I don't typically talk to pools of water. That's a lie. That's half my religion. Hello, pool of water. This feels absurd. I'm not going to talk to this pool of water. I'm going to stick my hand in.
Hey, Ramsey. When he said that, I'm going to try it through my voice. Hi, Corsac.
Give me a deception check.
17, is that not performance?
Or performance, actually. It really
I mean, I'm better at deception than performance, but it's either 17 in performance or 21 in deception.
Yeah, it speaks back to you in common.
I'm gonna say a quick prayer to Eldath.
You feel slightly comforted.
It'd sure be great if you can open that door, Corsac.
Sure. Do you know how to do that?
Well, that's the test for you.
He rolled really good.
Can I make an insight check?
You absolutely can.
That's a 12.
Yeah.
Do I see what's going on?
Yes, it's obvious.
You should give Selwyn all your money.
That doesn't sound like
So
a...
I ball my fist up and I do a little conk on the tiny head of this tiny
It's
dwarf.
actually a really big head.
Yeah, I
They
know.
have disproportionately large
on the short hair of Selwyn, and I kind of kick him in the back of the foot and like, dude, you're full
And, you know,
of shit.
as soon as
Yeah.
as soon as you get this is classic Selwyn. You feel a little dumb, but he got you this time.
I felt pretty dumb to begin with.
Well, looks ain't everything.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm gonna say a prayer to guidance for Eldath, and I'm gonna take my gauntlet off, and I'm gonna submerge my hand in the pool, see if anything happens, and hopefully not die from terrible prismatic energy.
something might happen. I do have a question though for Bedouin. What happened to his accent?
Oh, it's there. Can't you hear him?
Just
Y'all?
seems less pronounced this time. This time around. He's
Yeah.
got a little real.
Well, yeah, we're in the dark.
I would like you to make a Constitution saving throw, please, Andrew Summers.
I thought I had advantage in those. I don't.
Why would you have that?
Not advantage. I thought I had a proficiency in that.
Oh,
Ooh. That's an 8.
okay. So he passes out, and he starts to slide forward into the water.
I grab him.
Okay.
And haul him back.
Okay. It had an effect. He's unconscious.
It knocked him out.
Actually, oh wait, you're only a half elf.
I'm still immune to sleep effects.
Yeah. So actually, he is not unconscious.
No.
Whoa, I thought you fell asleep there, buddy.
He does. He's basically comatose, but he just kind of like doesn't move for a bit, and he kind of puts things together.
Did it tell you something else?
You do have a sense that it was trying to speak to you. As when you put your hand on it, you were just bombarded
It's too much.
by too much. But considering you have a helm that allows you to comprehend languages, you were able to actually understand what it was trying to say, or at least understand that it was trying to tell you something
Okay.
or speak to you, or at least tell you the entire history of an entire species and
All at
perhaps
once.
entire world all at once, which was a bit much. And you would have passed out. Now you just feel horrible. Rest would probably have been great. It would have been awesome if you could have fallen asleep, but unfortunately, no. You feel miserable.
Well, if we were looking for something alien to bring back, this would have been it. Unfortunately, it's attached to the ground.
It's pretty big.
That's not the thing. Either you're two both certain it's not what you need. You think that it's possible to pull, if you try, you might be able to commune and try to fish out the appropriate words.
I might be able to get what we're looking for, but it's going to require doing
it.
that again.
Well, it didn't kill you.
Did it hurt? Was it really bad?
You ever sit through a sermon?
No.
For
If if he
too long?
falls, is he gonna fall on ground?
What do you mean if he falls?
If he falls, if he loses his.
Well, you're both there with him.
Yeah, I presume he
Yeah.
crouched over.
So he would most likely fall into this liquid
Okay.
if he fell on if no one caught him.
All right. So let's each grab a side and
this isn't going to be pleasant.
Force him to stay in
Yeah.
contact with it.
All right. So I'm going to try and keep a very clear picture in my head
Specifically-
about looking for names of.
Names of what specifically? Are you going to look for one name of one kind of dragon?
I'm
What
going
are
to
you
be
looking
looking. I'm going to be looking for notable names of
door openers.
not necessarily
for?
door.
The most legendary dragon doorman.
I'm guessing that the doors here are tied to particularly noteworthy dragons of their species.
Maybe that's what you
So,
should be asking.
so maybe you should cross-reference Green Dragon with Usmak, whatever the other one was, the White Dragon.
That's an idea. See if there's dragons related to them inside that color range.
Why don't you ask it how to open the door first?
You don't think that it's like a wishing well or a genie
No,
or an AI program.
it's like a library that doesn't know when to be quiet. Yeah, I'm gonna go for it and try and keep a idea in my head that I'm looking for dragons related to Parthenax. I don't remember what his name was.
All right, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
All right.
I didn't write down his name either.
You may take advantage on this because you're getting a little bit of coaching. You're either
We're talking it out.
some of the advice of Benjamin was helpful, and you're fairly certain someone may let you drown if you fuck it up. So you have some incentive.
That's a 23.
All right, that's really good. You were able to parse several names out of this. It takes you a good amount of time, over 10 minutes of integrating it. It's fairly uncomfortable for you. You keep trying to, you want to pass out, but your body won't let you.
Mm-hmm.
You sever it with several names. You pull a name of a Ukaz. You was one that you knew, and in connection to that, Zadrain is a black dragon. It's Zaedrayn. You also parse the name of a green dragon, Chaydeor, Chaydheor. I'm getting an accent on there a minute.
Can you say that again?
Chaydeor.
Chay.
It's the word for making John giggle. Chaydheor.
That's how the French butler pronounced chowder on The Simpsons.
All right.
That's how his name is. He's Chowder.
All right.
You also parse the name of a red dragon, and who is somehow related to these Jazet, or Jazet. I'm sorry, it's Jazet. Jezyt.
All right.
And the name of a blue dragon, Zolapirith. XOLAPHYRTH.
And one more time with the spelling.
XOLAPHYRTH. Of course, that's not how you spell it in Draconic.
Sure,
But that's how
it's an
I would-
approximation.
That is how you would write it down in Common.
It's phonetic.
I got what we need.
Hey, you think you get a little bit more?
What?
Come on, you could do this. Check and see if it makes any mention of Taramis or anyone that looks like him or
Taramis?
Oh, Tarmus.
Tarmus.
Mr. Tarmus.
Yeah. All right. I'll check.
Sure. Give me another wisdom saving throw.
Dude love to scrimshaw up some jargons.
That's a 19.
No. That name does not have any connection to anything Draconic that you're aware of.
All right. Then I'm just going to spin around. Nope, don't know it. Jump off.
Fair enough.
Or at least it's not telling you there's any connection.
Hey, was that water?
No.
Your hands are not wet.
He was rubbing alcohol.
Don't
Nope.
drink it.
Maybe we should wreck this.
Why would you want to wreck a font of knowledge? If anything, this is something that the town wanted to know about.
It's probably not worth wrecking.
All right, it's probably not worth wrecking.
All right. So the ice door is open, yes? The white door is open, yes?
Yeah, it is still open.
All right. To the green door.
And yeah.
Yeah.
So you move through. The green door stands before you.
Chadreyev Jim.
I'll instruct them which things to push.
Boop boop.
And what name are you using?
The name Shadir.
Okay. You enter in Cheduar.
Chowder.
Chowder.
Shadir.
And the door opens, and you are not melted with acid. Similarly, you see a similar corridor in front of you. This one, similar to the one that you was engulfed in flames before. This one, as you begin to move through it, you notice it has built coming out of the walls are like metallic points all along, like different angles along the ceiling and the wall. And as you move through it, the hair on the back of your neck sticks up.
Mm-hmm.
And you come to around the corner. You come to another massive door. This door has indications of of references to blue dragons.
That's what I thought,
Specifically.
but I wasn't gonna character or player knowledge that.
Yeah. Well, I specifically said you were able to decipher the other colors on the doors, so I
Yeah.
was going to take this one away from you.
Did you get any blue dragons in there?
I did.
Is there anything of
Uh,
interest inside this room?
Zolifrith.
It is a
Zolifirth?
hallway. You don't see. There's no. It is basically your assumption is this is a trapped hallway. Like this is meant to kill people.
We've made it farther than any lizardman ever has.
It's true. All right. Chaldrith?
Zolifirth.
Zoliver. All right.
Okay, but
I don't know
you
the
double check
pronunciation.
that was not right.
I don't know the pronunciation, but this is how you spell it.
Mage
I
hand,
got a clear picture of that.
Mage hand doot doot.
Meishan Dudu. You enter in the appropriate, or maybe it is not the appropriate one, and it was a trick. No, it works, and the door opens, and it opens up into a. You can see opposite of you another of these stone doors. This one, from the end that you're looking at it, you don't see any mechanism tied to it. There's iconography tied to this door and a way to access it, but not the mechanisms to press the buttons.
There were only 5 names.
Mm-hmm. And you see you see that, and then specifically you see there is a passage, like an opening that is dimly lit. There's like a bluish light illuminating, and you see some a passageway to your right, a big wide 90-foot wide passageway, and you can see reflections of like shadows of pillars. So there's a large room. You would assume that this other door was the other passageway that you did not take.
If the path branched in half, there would be 5 names at this point. So we wouldn't have any more passwords to go through.
It seems like we're contestants on the shittiest game show ever.
Legends of the Hidden Dragon.
Guess
Dungeon.
correctly or die a horrible death. So we have a fairly large area with the hints of pillars.
Mm-hmm.
at the periphery.
And a bluish light.
So that seems like the only hint forward. Proceeding on to the bluish light.
Do we walk declaratively, or do we sneak, or do we run, or do we skip?
Those doors are on a time limit.
I'm not sneaking because sneaking slows down running.
Fair enough.
Okay.
So we move
Move in.
at a
I'll tell you, so you move
A brisk pace.
into
a
this
brisk
space.
pace, yes.
And this space is massive. Nearly 300 feet
Ooh.
from side to side and even further deeper into this massive space. And it is a wide, it looks like almost it's sloped in such a way to allow for several large bodies to rest comfortably and look forward at what is clearly a centerpiece. And what you see a couple passageways off to the left and right from what you're staring at, but what you're staring at is a massive draconic shape, a statue.
Oh, good.
Luckily, it's not moving. You can't make out the details of it, but it's looming over some sort of altar-like shape beneath it, and that's in the far end of this massive room. Are you going to move to investigate this?
You want to go stick your hand in the pool again?
Well, let's go see if it's a pool again.
All right. So you move forward, and you start noticing a few things. The blue light is coming from this statue, and it's not just the statue. You see that there seems to be like cracks almost, or veins. You would think of maybe of some sort of mineral, but it's all glowing this eerie, creepy blue light. It's unnatural light. You just feel a little weird and gross looking at it. And as you approach the statue, number one, you can see this statue is humongous. It's massive, and it looms over this entire space. Wings unfurled. It's long serpentine neck. It's like a blackened dragon, but it's not a black dragon. It's a color like even deeper than black. It's similar to the coloration of this temple itself. It's almost leaning towards. You think it's leaning towards a purple, maybe it's leaning towards a blue or towards a red. It's a hue. You can see there's a prismatic hue to it, but everything's kind of distorted because there's this. All of them is permeated by these glowing blue cracks, and as you're close enough, they seem like cracks because of how much they're intensely glowing. And they seem to be kind of like affecting this structure, but they're not actually damaged. There's no actual crack there. It's just
It's
the
like
way
marbling.
that the light. Yeah, it looks like marbling, but it looks almost like an infection, like veins running through it, and it runs outside of the statue into the ground around it, and it almost looks like it's burning with a flame light.
So I'm gonna pull out a knife and trace one of the things with the knife.
Trace it?
Yeah.
What do you mean trace it?
Like stick the knife.
Move
with
on it? Yeah, it touches it. You see, for a moment, it looks like it like bends the knife into and makes it brittle. It looks like it does something to it, but then you pull the knife away, and it just has a residual blue, almost like a blue flame on it, and then it disappears, and your knife looks fine.
So, do you
Looks
know
fine.
what kind of rock this is?
It's the same kind of the rock itself. You don't know. You can. Someone, how old are you? How old are all of your characters actually?
My character is 35.
Did you write an age, Selwyn?
I don't think I have it here.
Yeah, 35.
How old do you want your dwarf to be?
Relatively young for a dwarf.
Okay.
Like 120.
Sure.
Yeah.
You can give me an Arcana check. The other two, you guys can give me history checks.
I always give myself advantage.
I don't know
Can
why
give
I
myself
keep-
advantage? Does it stick?
No.
I don't know why I keep checking if I have modifiers for knowledge. I got a 3.
12.
You said a history check?
Yes.
17.
Oh. So, Selwyn, you have not seen this yourself. But during the relatively recent history, the past 100 years or more, before the Sundering, when allegedly, or from as legend states, the twin words of Abir Toriel were merged together when all hell broke loose and the weave was disrupted. You know what this means. But there was such a thing as Spellscar, which was a blight or like a pox upon reality itself. And that would affect places and people and things in different ways. That was presumably all removed and vanished from the world. It shouldn't. Like, the Toril does not have Spellscar anymore. It should not exist. Spellscars should have all healed, based on everything you've been told and you know. Looking at this massive statue, there's a few things you notice. First of all, as it's leaning forward, its tongue comes out and it wraps around. It's wrapped around what appears to be a massive rod, and it's capped. It's capped upon. It's holding it out like it's almost like it's perpendicular, and the links you see are capped with like two dragon maws, like a head of a dragon's that are facing inwards onto the shaft, and then it's wrapped. It's wrapped around with like its body, as if like there's the body's coming out of the center of it, and then the two necks are like turned inward upon it, and then the idea, the representation of the coiled body is around it, and there's some other writing in it. You can't make it out. It's pretty large, as if it'd be held in the hand of this beast, this dragon.
So it's a really huge rod.
It's a really huge rod.
It's not
like a massive
rod.
rod.
It's a
rod.
It's a cylinder.
Is it able to be carried?
You would think it would take several people to carry this.
So, without even realizing that I did it out loud, I say, "Ooh, I want that."
Mm-hmm. You also notice a few other important things. Selwyn, as you're kind of glancing over the shapes here, if this is Spellscar, it's not meant to be on this statue. Like, this is not. It was not designed for this. It is a scar upon this for whatever reason. It's still here for some reason. Now, by that same thought, do you share any of this information with anybody else?
This shouldn't be here.
What is it?
It's complicated. But
okay.
This is
All right.
unnatural and it shouldn't be here.
all right. Is it unnatural, like it's from another world?
Maybe from another time.
Now, the other thing that you all notice is this statue is looming over a central dais. It's like a raised platform that then kind of dips. And when it dips, it's like a holding pool, like a space for something. And as you kind of approach it, you can see it has an apparatus that looks to be like a binding apparatus, where you would bind one thing on the left side, one thing on the right side, and then it can be forced down forward, like lifted up, and then whatever is being held forced down forward, and then you see the tail of this great statue comes down and it gets smaller and smaller to a size that's definitely not to its frame. It's not to its proportions, and it's built into the ground, and it comes straight up at an angle. And it forms what would be you couldn't think of any way to describe it other than a spear tip, and it's coming at an angle, kind of facing towards this dais, like right where this space would be if something were to be placed there. And in the center of this space, you can see it's kind of recessed, like a pool, like a bird bath, and the bottom there's a hole.
So it's a murder machine.
It looks pretty murder machiney, yeah.
You tie somebody up and tip it forward and spear them and then save their blood and shit. Cool. Okay. It's a murder machine.
Interesting.
Dried out.
Now,
How high up is this rod?
the rod itself is like you would say about 60 feet off the ground at this point. And this statue is made out of the same stuff. You don't think, and it's like the tongue is like wrapped around this rod.
How smooth is the statue? Can I climb it?
It's pretty smooth, and it's kind of built in a weird angle. So it's not like the back of the beast and the wings are kind of into the back wall. there is space behind it, but it doesn't. It also connects to the ceiling, so that space wouldn't allow you to kind of climb above it from behind. It's like built into the wall, and there's just like passageways that you notice are behind it as you're kind of getting a sense of it. You probably could try to climb it. It would be extremely difficult to get up to like where the arms and shoulders kind of lean forward. Once you get up to that point, you could kind of perhaps clamber about it with a bit more ease.
You said that the arms were like wrapped up around or positioned.
They're in like a menacing
okay
motion. They're about 30 feet off the ground.
We have rope, right?
Yes.
We can tie something heavy around one end, hopefully throw it over one of those arms. Have Selwyn hold on to one end and pull him up.
Yeah. So you're talking about getting the rod, right?
Yeah.
What do we do with it?
Well,
I don't know,
check
but
it
we
out.
need something if we're gonna go back.
Well, I mean, we can't carry it. We wouldn't fit on our boat.
but I would like to look at it.
So climb. Like he's got rope tied over it. We'll pull you up.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Oh no, I thought you were saying like using leverage and pulling the rod down.
No, pulling him up.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Let's do that.
Yeah.
I'm glad I thought of it.
All right, so you start getting that ready. I need the three of you can make perception checks.
Sure.
You can take advantage.
Sure.
Everybody can or just him?
Just Andrew Summers,
That's a 22.
Corsic.
It's a 10.
22
Okay.
for Corsic.
So as you're kind of getting this set up, you notice that oddly, and as you kind of, maybe it's the residuals of what you're doing with the pool, maybe not. Maybe it's just the way that it's catching the light, but no one else seems to notice it, and you notice it. Within the body of this statue, as if like it's like a glass statue and there's another layer below it,
Right.
it's writing. And it's not words, it's writing. It's like writing that's like written as a like a weird artistic representation of writing. Like there's like, here's a phrase and it meshes to another phrase that's over here, but it's all in Draconic and it's around the entire body, and it's telling it's telling some sort of
So it's like
tale of some kind.
so it's like vaguely visible underneath the blue veins.
Yeah. Well, yeah, beyond, it's the blue lanes are nothing to do with it. That's actually obscuring it. It's making it a little bit harder to see.
Oh, so it's like a second. It's like a second layer inside of the black.
Inside of the black, yeah.
Yeah, I'll take a moment and take a closer look, get up to it, and
Sure. Do you want to
my
stop
hands-
what you're doing with them, or help get someone up first and then kind of investigate that?
I'll let them keep preparing.
Okay.
But I'm gonna take a pause. There's something.
I mean, you've got the
Inside the
rope. This
statue.
is why you've got the rope looped up. I mean, you're basically, someone's about ready to go
Once the rope is up there, like I could climb that pretty easily.
once it's secured.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me a strength athletics check.
Natural 20,
Oh, shit.
and then it's plus like 7.
Yeah, natural 20 is all you really need to climb a rope, man. So, yeah, you climb right up a rope, and you get up there, and you start kind of moving your way. And I'm going to say that you're able, once you're up there, you've got a good sense. You've deciphered how this thing moves. And you move your way up. How are you trying to get? You're trying to get up on the neck and like move your way to get as close as possible that way? Mm-hmm. Okay. So you start doing that. You're taking your time. You're moving there with some, actually faster than you think is safe, but you feel perfectly confident. So you're looking at these words, Corsic, and give me an investigation check. Not you, Selwyn. You're not looking at words.
Oh, okay.
Corsic's looking at words.
Actually, a 19.
Oh wow. Yeah. So
I keep making all
It
these
is- it
intelligence
is-
checks.
as far as you can tell, there is kind of written like a puzzle, similar to that pool with how it relays information. Like a normal person wouldn't be able to decipher it easily.
Right.
But you're able to parse together that it seems to be an instruction manual, and it's indicating like what, like, to unlock something, certain
Okay.
sacrifices are preferred, and it's mentioning specifically, it's like, Draconic will not do, obviously will not do. It mentions specifically utilizing humans or dwarves. They also mention genasi as a possible one, though it's volatile. They don't recommend like wind genasi for some reason. That's mentioned. There is no mention of one thing that's mentioned is as you notice mention of like other demi-human races used, basically referenced to as effectively cattle. They're not referenced to as like peers of any kind, or you would expect them to be. they specifically mention a word or term that you would equate to Dragonborn, but not. It's going to have. It won't effectively. Their dragon blood is too strong. It won't have the appropriate effect. There is no mention anywhere at any point of elves or any sort of elven thing. There's not even a reference, which you find odd. Normally, if you've
Or do you find it insulting?
possibly, but it's more odd. You would think that there would be insulting references to elves. There's not even that. It's just they're not even brought up. It's not a thing. Also, I mean, if not that it matters, like it's really the only races are mentioned are those four, and the only ones that are appropriate sacrifices are humans or dwarves, to be used. So Selwyn, you get close to this thing, kind of leaning forward and kind of trying to get a sense of the tongue and looking at this rod, and you're able to get a little more detail of this thing. Again, it's two dragon heads kind of turned inwards on each other. But looking at this, because it's so huge, you're able to see some of the details, and it appears to be like a pictograph of just vague representations of like human beings or humanoid beings, like being tormented. Like they're all in like screaming poses, and they're all like locked together. It's all like they're not necessarily skulls, but they're almost like little ghostly forms, or they're all like kind of like this artistic representation of that. Beings in torment, beings being set on fire and melted and electrocuted, and it's just this horrific scene kind of played out within the artistry of this rod, wrapped in with the coils of these draconic serpents with the two heads, kind of holding it together. This is what you're looking for. 100%, you need to get this. You don't think that you'll be able to. Looking at how it's tied, it looks as if it's like it's part of this tongue, and don't think you can break this. You don't think with the size of this, looking this close, that it's breakable, or at least not breakable with the tools that you have. So you're not sure how you would get this loose. You kind of want to touch it, but it's kind of, you can't really reach it. You have to like get onto the tongue maybe, and you think it'd be a little precarious, and you don't think that.
A little precarious or very precarious?
A little precarious, like if you fell, you probably break your neck, but you're not compelled to put yourself at risk to get it, but you do feel that you can't leave here until you get it.
Is there something I can tie a rope to up here?
Yeah, probably. You can probably
right.
secure a rope up here.
Sure. So I have rope.
Mm-hmm.
So I will tie the rope
To the tongue?
To a thing, and then I will tie the rope to me, and I'm gonna go touch the rod. That sounds sturdy.
Give me a strength athletics check or acrobatics.
Yeah.
I think that's the same.
Bedouin. This seems to be talking about some kind of sacrifice necessary to open up something, but there's some writing here.
I want to do acrobatics because that seems like it's more established.
Sure.
Natural 20.
Jesus. So I'm thinking, this is how I'm picturing this. So like, you're like, so of course it's like, look at this. Oh man, this is insane. And Bedouin, this seems. You start this conversation. He's like trying to explain what's going on, and then in the back, you kind of like it's all panned up, kind of an angle, and you just see Corsic just like tying the rope.
Specifically, like dwarves and dragonborn were mentioned.
So when you able to rope out there and kind of just straddle on top of this thing, I need you to go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, with what's it called? Advantage?
No, almost the opposite, but not quite.
Oh,
that was gonna be
20
good.
there. That would be a 5.
Okay,
That's great, buddy. Way to go.
so yeah, you're
Good
hanging on
job.
to this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
this
this-
is you definitely need to figure out a way to get this.
Hey, this thing's awesome. I pull out my hammer from my pack.
Okay.
Just start banging on things.
Okay.
Is it coming loose?
No, I mean you actually as you apply more force, like your hammer is taking damage from like swatting on any of this on this thing. You do think that you see like all the shapes on this rod moving as you're doing this.
Oh man, this thing's really neat. You guys should come check it out.
So sacrifice, you said.
Yeah, and it looks like this kind of device down here is what they're meant to do it for.
We don't have any of those.
No, we don't.
What else do we need?
It doesn't make note.
It specifically makes note of the bloodletting, of draining
Yeah.
blood, in order to
What's it?
It drained. Apparently, blood is the cost. I don't know how much, but
So
based on how big this pool is,
Just twice Barney's could have been useful.
I mean, hey, Selwyn.
Yeah.
You're not hiding. I can see you. Hey, how committed are you to holding on to all of your blood?
I need most of it.
Would you be willing to give up some of it if it would get us that giant cylinder rod thing?
What?
I think we found a way to get the cylinder rod thing, but you need to lose some blood.
it mentioned 2 sacrifices, didn't it?
It mentioned that specifically the sacrifices that were appropriate
So not a quantity,
were a dwarven or humans.
Oh, shit.
Those are the 2 that are mentioned. They also mentioned Genasi, which
Right.
you're not really familiar with.
it doesn't mention.
They're mentioned with some frequency in these texts.
You said dwarves are humans, right?
Correct.
It didn't mention a quantity though. Just a.
It did not mention it doesn't actually specify a quantity. No.
I imagine the entire pool.
Depends.
I would like to remember back to my dream.
Right. Oh yeah, you had a dream.
I had a dream last night, so I'd like to remember back to my dream, and I wish to confirm some details that I learned in this dream
Okay.
with God.
Well,
Your particular diva.
yeah.
All right.
God's.
So there was something about a river, and something about if the river was through plain or stone, that she would continue. We, as in the pair of us, would continue, but there would be slavery. Correct.
Correct.
But if the river went through tree or sky, Kalhada and I would no longer go on, but there would be no slavery, or no new slavery, freedom.
Freedom specifically.
Okay.
It was you would bring freedom or bring slavery. The other, yeah.
All right, cool. And so I would also like to reiterate another detail that I learned. So as we were investigating this room, there was a fresco or a tableau or something with humanoids being tortured and stuff, right?
That is on the rod.
That's on the rod.
Mm-hmm.
Did you tell us what that is?
No, he just said it's really neat.
So it's really neat.
All right, so even without that information. And I've had many dreams with Kalhada, and she often speaks in riddles, correct?
She does not often speak in the dream. She said this is not. She's incapable of telling you. She is only able to relay this in riddles because she doesn't quite grasp it. It was outside of her comprehension, and she was kind of apologetic that she had to do this to you. That she felt she had to convey this because it was brought. The message was brought to her.
All right. Hey, Selma, can you come down for a sec? We need to committee for a second.
Is there some way for me to attach the rope directly to like the tongue?
So he can climb back up. And
No. No, that wouldn't work because it's attached to another end. So I would have to tie the end that I am attached to the tongue. And I'm just going to go back to the way that I came.
All right.
I'm just going to go back to the way that I came.
Okay.
So I only have half human blood.
Okay. All right. So what can you tell us about that rod?
What's up? It's really, really cool. It's got a bunch of stuff on it.
Like what stuff?
There's all kinds of little people in it. That's what it was, right?
In it?
Yeah.
There are people inside of it?
Yeah, they're moving.
What are they doing?
Moving.
It's disconcerting.
All right.
What were they doing?
Oh, they look like they were being tormented horribly.
Didn't look like they were having fun.
Okay. So here's the skinny.
You're not compelled to gloss over it, just so you know. Like you don't have a feeling that you have to say it's fun. That's up to you.
So here's the skinny. So my what's the specific term for my diva
Patron?
my patron and I, my patron.
It's more like she's your
Guide?
guardian guide, your celestial guide, not really a patron. You don't have any sort of relationship with her of
Spirit animal?
kind of like that.
So have we talked about the patron guide stuff before?
Up to you.
I imagine I would have spoken with you about it.
Okay.
I know
Or
we
I
talked
think-
about sausages.
Okay. So my patron guide came to me. My patron guide came to me last night in a dream. And in this dream, she had to speak cryptically because she was unable to tell me flat out. She told me that if I drew a river from plain or stone, that she would still continue to be my guide, but but there would be great slavery and torment and all sorts of terrible things.
So what's in the rod?
And if I drew a river from forest or from sky, that I would lose my patron guide, but there would be freedom. So I've had to interpret dreams before. You said the instructions talked about bloodletting.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a liquid. That's river. And it specifically talked about bloodletting from humans and from
Dwarves.
dwarves. To me, that sounds like plains and stone. Am I wrong?
I could see the interpretation.
All right. And so if the bloodletting, so forest and sky would probably be elves and Azamar. Or I'm a celestial being.
Sure. I
Elves
could
live in
see-
woods.
I
Nobody
can
else lives
see-
in woods.
I could see the interpretation.
Or gnomes. But probably
Frequently an airfaring race.
were gnomes mentioned in the instructions?
Not specifically.
Curious. But anyways, so yeah, I think this is where we are. I think if we follow those instructions and were to sacrifice the blood of a human and or a dwarf, we'd probably get the rod, but everybody would be enslaved and that would suck. But if we were to get the blood from an elf or me, then I would lose my guide, but there would be freedom and stuff. I'm starting to wonder,
Do we get the rod too?
probably.
Oh, let's do that.
Yeah, so here's the question though. And here's the
It's been nice knowing you.
here's the take of my interpretation is if it requires a fatal amount of blood, like that's why my guide and I won't continue to go on, because I'll be the dead.
Well, let's try a little bit at a time and see what happens.
I'd offer up my own, but,
It's not quite potent enough, is it?
well, it's half human, half elf.
Exactly. It's cut. it's cut with gypsum. Yeah. All right. I'll walk over to this big old cistern.
Yeah. I'm not one to get in the way of one's divine prophecy. If you think that this is what needs to happen.
This is gonna suck. You got any lay on hands left?
No.
Oh, good.
But I do have a spell, and I do have a potion.
Okay. So I will pull out one of my daggers.
Corsic, your interpretation of any sort of sacrifice would need to involve the implement that of the statue's tail.
Yeah. This apparatus itself is set up for that kind of ritual.
All right.
Again, it doesn't specify quantity or measurements at all.
Yeah.
You would assume they just take all of it when they do the thing, but that
Fine.
may just be that contradicts.
I consider this. I consider this acceptable. I will stand up in the appropriate position to be attached to this rack. I will allow them to fasten this rack around my wrists and feet and stuff.
This seems like
It doesn't seem smart.
a you die situation.
How sharp is the thing?
The spear point of the tail,
Yeah.
extremely sharp, like unnaturally sharp for what would look like a stone
Correct.
statue.
Okay, so perhaps I don't need to be skewered upon it. Perhaps I can just nick it with my hand and get some goop in there.
There's been some implements in this facility. I need to talk a bit dumber. Not this. There's been a lot of traps in here. How do we know it's not just gonna take everything?
Well, with your help, hopefully we'll be okay. And with that, I will skewer my left hand upon the spear tail.
Okay. What is your intent?
My intent is to bleed for a while.
Okay.
My intent is to bleed for a while. It is to keep people informed as to my current status vis-a-vis dying, and hopefully get some help when needed.
Okay. All right. So he does that. He slams his hand on top of the tip of the sphere, and at first you take 2 points of damage, and it doesn't quite go in through your hand. It's just kind of poking it, and then blood's kind of dripping down. You're like, do you want to force your hand all the way down on it, or slide your hand?
You said it's like unnaturally sharp.
It's for what it is. It's like a sharpened blade, but it looks like a piece of stone. Like the fact that this thing is that sharp is. You must have been just hesitant.
Yeah, I guess judging by this whole little setup they have here, people are supposed to go like thwack onto it.
Probably center mass impaled upon the blade.
Yeah, full hand.
Knock yours, just open it up as wide as you can.
Yeah.
Just crucify your one hand on there.
Hey, man.
All right, get a little stigmata going. All right. So, sure thing. You shove your hand down on that thing entirely.
Hey, I am preparing. Like I have my lax out. If I need to chop off that hand.
Groovy. I like Evil Dead references.
I've got the potion out.
You take 7 points of damage if you kind of slide your hand on there, and it's excruciating pain. It's to make that happen. You see the blood kind of trickling down. Some of it's dripping down and pooling, just little bits of blood. Give me a perception check. What are the two of you doing? You're all standing by. Are you by him?
I'm watching. I'm keeping it.
Both give me. Everyone give me perception checks.
Yeah, I want to keep an eye on his condition. Make sure he's not.
15.
Passing out. That's a 23.
15.
Rolling good now.
Out of 23.
Yeah.
You see that some of the blood that's on that blade, it's dripping down the blade, this tail blade, like normal. As you see it kind of drip down, you're seeing it like little bits of it. Occasionally, you see like little sparks of flame, like it's blue flame, and you're noticing like you kind of notice this too. But then you notice like some of the flames, like the scarred pieces, are flaring. Your hand kind of rests there, and you kind of lean into it a bit more, and you take 15 points of damage as like it just starts to gush out. It gushes out like in a big gout of blood, and then it sprays out and it starts to drip. And you see the blood that's kind of dripping down defy gravity and move up towards not the tail, but kind of flick into these scars. And then you see that everything starts to kind of shake and rumble. And you see the statue itself begins to move. It begins to like animate. And you see its tongue kind of undulate. And as it looks like it's starting to loosen, and the flames get brighter, and you hear like a cracking noise, and like the sound of like something's like.
So
where are you
something
at?
Something is like breaking a hinge. It's like it sounds like forced pushing through something in a way that it's not meant to go. And then you can't. The flames are getting bigger. The blood is going towards it. It's igniting. It's kind of beating back onto your friend here. You don't see him. He's not even looking at anything. He's already lost focus. He's gone. And you hear that noise get louder and louder. The flames keep getting brighter. And a few more seconds pass by as this continues.
I'm pulling him off.
All right, you're going to go to try to pull him off?
Before he does that, so when I get to 0 hit points, being a dark sorcerer, I make a roll because being a dark sorcerer, I'm used to death.
Right.
So it's a...
Were you at 0 hit points? Did I bring you down to it?
You got me below 0 hit points.
Okay.
But once I reach 0 hit points...
Your reaction is irrelevant at this point.
I make a charisma saving throw, DC 5 plus the amount of damage I took, so that'd be 20, correct?
Yeah.
So my charisma saving throw is 6... plus 6 is 12. So I'm at 0 hit points.
Groovy. So when that happens, like when you see the flare up, you go to pull him off, not knowing that he's like hit that threshold.
Wait. What kind of damage was it?
As far as the actual damage, looks like piercing damage.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah. As far as the
Are
damage
you
you're taking,
sure it wasn't cold damage?
it was not cold
Or
damage.
necrotic damage?
No necrotic damage.
Damn.
Surprisingly not. No, you don't feel like nothing is trying to eat away at you at all. The at that moment when you think you need to pull him off, the spell scar flares up with a blue light and it blinds your vision, and you hear that creaking, cracking noise. Like, this is not the way this is supposed to turn. You broke this shit. That's the noise that it sounds like. And then it just stops, and you're in darkness. It's nothing. You just hear drip, 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 and that's it. There's no blue light. There's no light source in here at all. You hear kind of a soft, and you feel like things shifting, like the ground beneath you shifting, like it's sliding.
Oh crap!
You feel this weird feeling here.
Like the entire room is shifting.
It feels like that. It's hard as you have no visual reference. It's just how it feels. What do you do? Now you're in blackness.
We need to get out.
We need the rod.
Can we see it all? Because we have the dark vision, right? Or does that require some light to work?
I don't know.
Well, for him,
dark sorcerer,
he's
bro.
a 0. Yeah,
Right.
you're able to
both
make
of
up
us
some.
have-
Yeah, you're able to at a point. You're able to kind of make up some sense of what you're looking at here. You see in front of you, where the statue is. It looks almost like it's like almost a rounded shape. Like the wings have folded in on itself, and it's pulled back into the wall. Like its head, whatever it is buried underneath its wings, and it's now like a solid shape. Selwyn, you don't feel that same compulsion as you did before. You still want it because it's cool. So you're not sure if there's any real difference, but you don't. The pull, it's not quite. You're not quite as disappointed as you a few moments ago felt you would have been. But still, that sucks.
But it feels like we're gonna die if we don't get out of here soon.
It doesn't. You don't know what's happening. So yeah, there's way too many variables at play.
Okay.
I think we're sinking into the marsh.
Cool.
And you hear a sound that's getting louder, and odd.
I'm pulling him off the spike.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're probably gonna take damage when you do that, even though he's not moving.
Okay.
Are you at 0 stable or 0 dying? You failed. Did you make your save?
So that was not a death saving throw.
That was to keep yourself at 0.
That was a grave strength saving throw. This is a saving throw. I succeeded on my first death saving throw.
Okay. So he's definitely not. He's dying.
Right.
He's not reacting to you.
Pull it off or chop it.
So before I pull him off, if he's still, he's in a delicate state, I'm gonna go ahead and cure wounds on him. Cure light wounds.
Okay.
Does that
See if
bring
I
me
can
back to life?
It'll heal you.
Doesn't that kill him twice?
Well, your concern is, I think, if you want to try to give me a medicine check.
I'm worried if
Give me a medicine check.
a medicine tech. Let's see. No,
Okay.
it's a 5.
Sure. Yeah, you have no idea. Yeah, sure. Heal him right now. Do what you want. Selwyn?
Yeah. From what you said, I'm worried that he's gonna potentially bleed out if I pull him off right now.
I mean, your medicine check was 5, so I don't know what you think.
All right, then I'm just gonna go with my initial idea and pull him off.
Okay. Are you gonna pull him off first, or heal him and then pull him off?
I'm gonna pull him off and then heal him. Otherwise, there's gonna be a wound when I heal him.
Okay. You failed its death saving throw. He yanks you off. And his blood's just like pouring out of this wound.
Yeah, cure light wounds.
Okay. He cures those wounds, and you get
A lot. That's gonna be spellcasting mod. 11 points of health returned to him with the glowing palms.
And you have to touch him to do this, correct?
Yes.
Right. So you lay hands upon him, but not lay on hands. You call upon.
I call upon the power of Eldath.
Yeah, you do. So you lay on hands and call upon the power of Eldath. Don't rock that down, because you lay on hands and call upon the power of Eldath, and you receive no answer.
Okay.
No wounds healed.
Do I get any? Do I get any of the glow?
No.
Or does nothing happen?
0 glow.
Oh fuck!
Not a glow.
I
It's as if it,
I pissed off my god.
it's
That's why.
I severed the link to the astral plane.
so
That's why you shouldn't talk to strange pools. Your god's pissed.
I feed him the potion.
okay.
I'll deal with this later.
All right. Go ahead and feed him the potion.
Oh
How much
my
does he get
God.
back?
2d4. Oh wow, 2.
But that, regardless, that brings you to 2 hit points, and closes the wound, though not perfectly.
No, certainly not. Well, oh,
But-
2d4 plus 2.
Oh, so 4.
But I'm not awake, right?
Yes, you are.
Oh, I'm awake.
When you take healing, it just brings you up to whatever the healing is.
Oh, good. I'm awake.
And this sound keeps getting louder.
Did that kill me?
Does that sound familiar at all?
Give me a wisdom. Okay. Yeah.
Is this whoosh like the whoosh from the fire thing?
No.
No, different whoosh?
Sounds like almost like a hiss. Give me a wisdom
Nope.
perception check.
Nope, we're just gonna run. I'm gonna be
Hey.
thanks, bro. Out.
Hey, you fucked something up. We're getting out.
Cool.
Which way were you
The
running?
way we came in.
Yeah. And when you say the head is retreated back in, the rod's with it. The
Yes.
rod's gone. Okay.
Yeah, the way we came
the
in.
rod's-
That's probably the best one.
Yeah, so the rod's gone. We need to go.
The tail that he was impaled on is still out, right?
Yes.
Can that be broke?
You would think it's the same material. You would think it would be very difficult to break.
All right. Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay.
So I'm running towards the way we came in.
Okay. I need you all to give me athletics checks.
Ooh, I'm good at those.
I'm usually good at those.
19.
I'm a little groggy.
12.
4.
Okay. So, although understandably so, Bedouin is lagging behind. He trips and falls and almost can't even really get himself moved. But you're able to drag him along. You have to kind of backtrack a bit, grab him, pull him forward. As you're doing this, that hissing sound gets louder, and you see like from one of the side corridors as you start moving to this exit, you see a poof, and there's just this like wave of sand comes pouring through, just like as if we almost think it's water for a second, except the noise it's making and how it's kind of buffeting about is pouring through the opening. You continue to make your way through the doors that you previously opened. They luckily remain open at this point, and then you head up to the passageway. Everything's kind of shifting and moving, but you're able to make fairly good time, and eventually you head up to the surface. And the first thing you notice as you keep running is like it's dry. You just get like blasted with dry air, and you're not prepared for it. And you come clambering out onto the open space in front of this temple, and it's at an odd angle. You can see as you can come up and look out and see the little mini horizon around the edge where the stairway was. It's on a very severe angle, a different one than the one when it was when you entered it, and you're immediately almost blinded because you see a kind of a sun, bright sun, just in the sky, and you see the sky itself. The first thing you notice that seems odd, it's not blue. You are staring out at a bright, unrestricted sky that is in fact the color of steel. And all around you is a desert landscape. A ruined desert landscape. Some rocky outcroppings. You can see to the east, maybe, is what appears to be mountains.
Was this what's supposed to happen?
I don't think so.
And you see like there's the sand is pouring in. As you can see like the other structures. A couple of them are now raised higher. The four cornered structures and the high spire are now, some of them are raised higher. Some are completely submerged in the sand. And you would assume perhaps there was cracks are opening, and that's where the sand was pouring into the structure. You are overcome with the heat. The sun itself, although bright, actually appears blue in color. And you kind of collapse. I mean, you're there kind of staring at this wasteland in every direction. Benwin, everyone's kind of looking around, you feel a presence next to you, and you kind of know who or what it is before, but you've never felt it like this. You're a little apprehensive to look, but you do feel it there. Do you look?
I do.
So crouched next to you, you see this black, roughly a little bit larger, maybe only 10 feet tall in space. It's almost like a mantis in body, but made of shadow, and you see things crawling on it, also made of shadow. The upper torso, though, comes to like a beaked maw, almost like a crow. But again, it's all imprecise. It's a suggestion of things crawling upon it. It's as if its creature is made out of a shadow stuff, and it kind of it sits there and it's gazing out at the horizon, and then you look at it. It kind of seems to stop and notice that you're looking at it, and it looks back over to you, and just kind of nods its little crow-like head, and it moves its kind of multiple claws. It kind of grows a couple additional limbs for a second, and it goes, "Yep, well, we're fucked," and that's where we'll leave it.
Hey, look, you're that guy.
So as our outro, we've left our heroes not where they began, perhaps not where they expected to be, somewhere else entirely. There are some assumptions, and before I say, does everyone want to make a guess?
Are we in Dark Sun?
Thematically close, perhaps.
So, as per the location, we're in, what was the other world when worlds collide?
Abir?
Yeah, we're in that one. The reason
I will confirm that is where you have ended.
the reason that your god magic didn't work is because she either can't find us or doesn't exist on this plane or on this world, and it's the same reason.
Made up.
Yeah, and it's the same reason why I can't get my guide. However, conceivably, this dark fella over here is what turned me to darkness. So
I like that you're just gesturing at.
Oh yeah, no one else sees him. Just to be clear, it's only Bedouin who actually sees him.
Sure. Yeah.
Hey, want to test something? Can I still sneak?
We're not in game anymore.
Can I still sneak?
Sneak all you want.
Can I
still works.
Can I still shoot my crossbow?
Sure.
Cool.
Our rent's gonna be overdue. Our credit's gonna be terrible. All right.
So
I don't think we're getting paid for this mission.
That was it. Our heroes went on a very simple job to find something useful that they could sell for about 300 gold. They get 300 gold, find a thing. Instead, they ended up traveling through a world that should not be reachable. Maybe they did a good thing. Maybe they're totally screwed.
We should have just sacrificed the dwarf.
Possibly both. But thank you all for watching us play some D&D. That's the end of this adventure.